Shalom, shalom, Israel. This is Sibaya. I'm here as I said I would be. Right now, I'm going to be playing this Malaki Macabee answering all questions. And I'm going to, as I said I would, destroy the premise and show the false doctrine that he's lying. But before, like I said, so I won't be accusing him of something he didn't say, we're going to let out what he says play, I believe from times 23 to 40 something. I'm going to let it play so you know the argument. What he is building here, as I said before, is the foundation of his whole argument. As Yaki Isai Malaki says, we could talk about the healing and the meat and all of that, but let's get past the contradictions in the scriptures first. And so you're right, we can't talk about anything else until we get past these so-called contradictions that he so smugly looks at Malaki, to say this is your portion, to destroy the Bible. These brothers have made an attempt to tear up the whole body of Messiah, to pit all of the apostles and the anointed ones and the ones that Yahushua sent to deliver salvation to the house of Israel from then to now, to cause a family fight, but not in this house. So Malaki has made a claim here. And I've said briefly in the other video that Malaki is lying. And I'm going to prove it here. And so before I go into my dissertation in my Shabbat class to prove it, I'm going to let some of this play. Take heed, O Israel, hear what the word of Yah has to say. And I'm going to prove by the word of Yah that Malaki is a liar and a false teacher. Okay, let's play.
Okay, now watch this. So we can never be guilty of adding to or taking from, because we're not scribes. Huh? You know what I mean? What we point out is obvious conflict. Deuteronomy 30 and 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, death and evil. Okay? There's two Torahs in the scriptures. There's two Torahs. There's a Torah of life and there's a Torah of death. There's a Torah of good and a Torah of evil. Okay? Verse 16. And that I command thee this day to love the Most High, to walk in his ways and to keep his commandments, and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Most High thy power shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. A brother say, see right there, it ain't just the commandments, it's the statutes and judgments as well. But listen to me. It's the statutes and judgments that pertain to life, not death. Life. Okay? So about this, verse 17. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I denounce unto thee this day that you shall perish and that you shall not prolong your days upon the land whither thou passest over Jordan to go and possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your seed may live. All right, now I just want to make sure everybody understand what I just read thus far. There are two paths set before you. All right, there are two paths set before you. Y'all look, and that comes down to every decision you make in life, even down to what you put in your mouth. Even what you put in your mouth, it's either making a decision or a choice toward living, or it's making a choice or a decision toward dying. Okay, next scripture I want to go to. I want to just show something real quick. Deuteronomy 31. Deuteronomy 31. 24 through 27. What am I saying when I say that everything written in the Torah is not written for you? Because there are things written against you. Huh? Brothers and sisters, there are laws in the Torah that everybody claim they keeping. 613 laws that are not written for you. They're written against you. All right? Deuteronomy 31. 24 through 27. All right? And it came to pass when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Most High, saying, take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant. All right? When you get into the different versions, in the side means on the side or beside the ark of the covenant. Okay? Of the Most High, your power, that it may be therefore a witness against you. A witness against these Levitical priests. And the Levitical priests instructed the people. All right? This law that Moses wrote was put beside the ark of the covenant, and it was written by Moses, not by the Most High, as a witness against you. Starting with the priest on down to the people who the priest instruct. Verse 27. For I know your rebellion. Look at this. For I know your rebellion and thy stiff neck, Behold, I am yet alive with you this day, and you have been rebellious against the Most High. And how much more after my death? Now trip off this. What laws are these, Quanah? What laws are these that Moses wrote that were put beside the Ark of the Covenant? Not inside of it, beside of it. And it was written as a witness against the people for rebellion. What laws are these? What laws are these? Are these the laws that the Messiah came, taught for, and died for?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Or are these 613 laws all these Israelites claim they keeping, doing all they Torah portions every Shabbat, that they copying from the false Jew? Huh? What laws are these? Okay.
I have to agree, man. Those laws was a witness against the people. That's 100% correct.
That's right. What laws are these? Now notice, these laws were written by Moses, and they were put beside the ark. And they were written as a testimony, as a witness against the people because of rebellion. Because of rebellion.
That's right.
And these Negroes got all y'all convinced they keeping 613 laws.
That's right.
Now what laws are these right here? Now let's go show something else, Quanah. Watch this. Let's go to Deuteronomy 9. Let's show the difference. Moses wrote these laws. He said, there's life and death I put before you. Then we go to the next chapter. Moses wrote them laws, and he wrote them as a witness against the people, and they were put down for rebellion. All right? If everybody understand what I'm saying so far, please put a 7 up in the chat. I don't want to lose nobody with this. I don't even want to lose nobody with this. Next scripture we go into, Deuteronomy 9. Let's show the difference. Deuteronomy 9. All right? What laws were written against the people? What laws were written for rebellion, for a testimony against you? Because I know you a stiff-necked people. I know you're rebellious. Oooooweee. Deuteronomy 9 and 7, Quanah. Watch this. Remember and forget not how thou provoked the Most High thy power to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt, until you came into this place. Ye have been rebellious against the Most High. Also in Horeb, you provoked the Most High to wrath, so that the Most High was angry with you, to have destroyed you. When I was going up into the mount to receive the tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant, which the Most High made with you. Then I abode in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. I neither did eat bread nor drink water. Remember that. Moses didn't eat bread or drink water, right? Watch this, verse 10. And the Most High delivered unto me 2 tables of stone, written with the finger of the Most High. You see that? The other laws we read about, Moses wrote them. But these laws were written with the finger of the Most High. Quanah, you see that? 2 different set of laws. And on them was written according to all the words which the Most High spake with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of assembly. Verse 11. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that the Most High gave me 2 tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant. Now these laws or commandments, we know today is the 10 commandments. They were written with the finger of the Most High, and they are called his covenant. These are the commandments that our people broke. These are the commandments that our people broke. These are the covenant laws.
Let him go ahead, Yehuda. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. No, I was going to say. What's it going on?
Wait, you say something. I said, go ahead, you say something.
I was going to tell Mally why he's speaking, right? To go to Ezekiel 20 and read verse 25.
No, I'm going there next. I'm going there next.
Okay.
I'm going there next.
All right. Okay. Go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you no more. Go ahead.
Hey, we loaded up over here, man. I'm going there next.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, just give us a second, bro.
Now, trip off this. Everybody should be able to see the difference so far. Okay? The first laws we seen, Moses wrote them. Okay? They went beside the Ark of the Covenant, and they were put there as a witness against the people for rebellion. These laws right here were written with the finger of the Most High. Okay? And they're called the covenant of the Almighty. All right? If everybody understand that, please give me a Yahoo up in the chat. Before I go to Ezekiel 20, I'm going over here to 1 Kings 8. Let's show where these commandments went. All right? Let's show where these commandments went. Everything written in the Torah, y'all, is not written for you. There are laws written against you for rebellion as a witness against you.
Yep.
That's just the truth.
No, that's right.
All right?
That's 100% correct. Go ahead.
1 Kings 9 and 6. Now, where did the commandments go that the Most High wrote with his finger? Because we see where the laws went that Moses wrote. What are the commandments that the Most High wrote with his finger? Where did they go in relation to the Ark of the Covenant? 1 Kings 9 and 6. All right? 1 Kings 9. Hold on. I got you. 9 and I think it's 1 Kings 8. Forgive me, y'all. I went over one. I went back one chapter. I went up one chapter too quick. All right. I'm going to 1 Kings 8. All right. Misfire real quick, but hey, it's all good. 1 Kings 8. All right. We're going to start around verse 6. The ark brought into the temple. Ooh-wee. Okay. 1 Kings 8. Verse 6. And the priest brought in the ark of the covenant of Yah, and to its place into the oracle of the house, to the most holy place, even under the wings of the cherubims. For the cherubims spread forth their two wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubims covered the ark and the staves thereof above. And they drew out the staves, that the ends of the staves were seen out in the holy place before the oracle. And they were not seen without, and there they are unto this day. There was nothing in the ark, save the 2 tables of stone, which Moses put there at Horeb, when the Most High made a what? A covenant with the children of Israel when they came out of the land of Egypt. You see that, Quinah?
Yes, sir.
Do y'all see that the laws written with the finger of the Most High are called his covenant? Those are the 10 commandments. That's
And listen, if you want me to do some reading for you, I can read for you. It's no problem.
okay, no doubt, brother, no doubt.
Let me say something real quick, because I like to say, and I'm sorry, I want you to not say anything, but I want to say something too, because I don't want to forget it. It'll clearly slip my mind. But Yehuda, if you can, he might read this himself, but can you get that verse for me? Don't read it right now, even though I'm going to quote part of it. The scripture where it says, I gave you laws you can't keep.
That's what I'm going to.
That's where Mally's going. That's
I'm
where he's
going
going.
to. I'm going
Yes,
to.
sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
Ezekiel 20.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And so that's what we've been doing as of late. You know, once I studied it, you know what I mean? Because tell the truth, my brother Yaki, he been off the flesh for 5 or 6 years, and just based off our own conversations, you know what I mean? He always was like, man, something, you know, I don't think something quite right, like with the flesh, because I'm seeing how people are getting healed, getting off of it. But I'm always like, well, look, we got to be able to come out scripturally with it. You know what I mean? If we gonna come out with it, if we gonna come outside, we got to come out scripturally with it. You know what I mean? So I ended up having to study a little deeper, and then I had to let the little brother know, like, hey, you know what? Hey, bro, you got a point here. You got a point. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people mad at, because I'm backing the little brother. I'm a back him. Look, if he's right, he's right. If he's wrong, of course he's wrong. But if he's right, hey, you right. All right? So look, I just want to make sure everybody got understanding so far. The laws or the commandments, called the 10 commandments, written with the finger of the Most High, all right, went inside the Ark of the Covenant. They were placed inside. Okay? That's his eternal Torah. That's his covenant that you broke. All right? In Deuteronomy 31, those were written with Moses' finger, or Moses' penmanship. And they were put on the side or beside the Ark of the Covenant as a witness against the people for rebellion. These are not the same laws.
That's right.
These are not the same Torah. There's a Torah of life, and there's a Torah of death. There's a Torah written for you, and there's a Torah written against you for rebellion. All right? So, brother, so people are like, well, why bring it out now? Because think about this, y'all. We've been mingling the worships of life and death. You understand? We've been mingling worships. These men been teaching y'all 613 laws, supposedly. Because I don't personally believe any Negro that counted 613 laws. But I'll give it to you. All right? What if you knew that those laws were actually written against you for rebellion? Okay? Next scripture, Ezekiel 20 that my aunt brought out. Ezekiel 20. I just want to make sure everybody understand. You know what I mean? We're going to keep it real simple. We ain't even going to get extra or too deep with this. All right? We're going to keep it real simple so you can understand what we're saying. Now, when he say...
We're not go deep on this side of the fence, bro. We can F.O.P.E them up. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want to scare anybody off.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people talk about this. Like, a lot of people think we're saying put down the scriptures, and I've never said that. You know what I mean? But there are conflicts in the scriptures, meaning the prophets that were inspired by the Most High are speaking against what the priests are doing. And a lot of people are like, no, that's just because of sin. Well, I thought the whole purpose of a burnt offering or a sin offering was because people are sinning. The prophets are speaking directly against the so-called sacrifices. So you got people mad at us, and I'm like, what y'all mad for? None of y'all sacrificing. None of y'all bringing turtle doves and bullocks for sin. What y'all mad? Well, none of y'all. Look, y'all arguing with us about a dead priesthood.
Right. Ain't nobody going to the temple in Jerusalem. Ain't no priest touching the lamb, and then you touching the priest. Go ahead, man.
Exactly. So we got to stop playing with ourselves, y'all. Now, even the feast days, these Negroes claim they keeping. You know what I mean? The priest played an integral part in the feast days. So you're lying to yourself if you think you keeping any feast in Leviticus 23, how Moses and everybody in the days of old kept it. You're not. If you're keeping a feast, it's simply a memorial. You know what I mean? It's a memorial. And we thank the Most High for allowing his son to be that example and that exemplary sacrifice for us, man. But you're not keeping these 613 laws, not even when it comes to your feast days, huh? Not even when it comes to your Shabbat. You're not. All right? Ezekiel 20, y'all. Ezekiel 20. Isaiah, if you can, my brother, read 25 and 26 for it.
You said Ezekiel 20, man?
Yeah, Ezekiel 20, verse 25.
Okay, let me get it real quick here.
It's on the screen.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, here it is. And I polluted them in their own gifts, and that they caused to pass through the fire.
Go through 25. You see 25 on the screen?
Oh, my bad. Okay, here we go. Wherefore I gave them also statutes that were not good, and judgments whereby they should not live.
Hold on right there, brother. Hold on right there. Y'all, this is the Most High speaking through Ezekiel. And he's saying, I gave them, talking about Israel, to the priests first and then to the people, because the priests instruct the people, right?
That's right.
I gave them also statutes that were not good,
That's right.
and judgments whereby they should not live. Y'all, what laws are those? What laws are those?
Exactly.
What about this? This is a witness. This is a witness to what we read in Deuteronomy 31. Put this beside the ark as a witness against you. For I know your rebellion. The Most High saying, look, there are statutes and judgments. There are laws in your Torah that everybody claim they following that are not good. And
Hey,
that
Mallet.
and that
Hey,
you
Mallet.
should
Let
not
me
live
read.
by.
Let me read verse 24 for you.
Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
It says here, because they had not executed my judgments, but had despised my statutes, and had polluted my Sabbaths, and their eyes were after their fathers' idols. Verse 25, one more time. Wherefore I gave them also statutes that were not good, and judgment whereby they should not live.
Y'all see that? So the question is, y'all, what laws are these? We've been mingling the path of life and the path of death in this Israelite thing, claiming we keeping 613 laws. Y'all, and the path of life and death even has to do with what we call our diet, y'all. Yes, Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14. There's a diet of life, what my people call a livet. Not a diet, but a livet. You find that in Genesis 1:29. You'll see even in the kingdom, Isaiah the 11th chapter, even the lion gonna be eating straw like the bullock. You see that in Revelation the 22nd chapter, about the tree of life yielding her fruit, 12 manner of fruit every month, and the trees and the leaves of the trees are for the healings of the nation. This is eternal law. All right? Now, based off what we know, excuse me.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom. Thank you. Let them know you in the house. All right. Shabbat shalom, Israel. I'm here, as I said I would be, on my Shabbat day with my family, brothers and sisters, and babies in the faith. That's right. We're all babies in the faith. And y'all saw the argument of this, I'm going to call him what he is, the niggerite Malaki. Yah said that in the last days, we would have many, many, many teachers, false prophets and false teachers that would heap up in the last days. That's due to this YouTube, because any and everybody and their mama and every crack addict and drug addict could jump up there and speak much words and read the book. It is no surprise that a lot of these teachers are survival of the fittest by default, because they can memorize the whole book. And by the time they get to spitting off and just yapping, gabbing on you, and pull out maybe a couple of scriptures here, jump back, a couple of scriptures here, jump forward, a couple of scriptures here, jump in the middle, pull out one word here, they are gabbing you. It is witchcraft that they're doing with the Bible. These are ministers of Satan. And they think that nobody can destroy the foolishness and the lies of Satan. Y'all, what makes Satan a good master deceiver? What makes a liar a wonderful, masterful liar and deceiver? Tell me. Omission, y'all. Omission. Now, he's looked at my claim. He thinks that I have made some kind of error in my understanding in the word, that I checked him, that he's lying about his narrative. I do say that he's pulling out bits and pieces of a truth, and so does Satan. That's the conversation he had with Eve from the beginning, or our mother Hawa, and that's the conversation that he's having with these Negroes while they high the whole time, thinking they know something. One word can change your whole understanding on what you're reading. Omission of a whole scripture can lie about what the scripture is actually saying. And these brothers, Yaki, inside of Malaki, have twisted the scriptures, and they're being disingenuous in what's being read. And I'm going to prove that they're either conscious, deceitful, skillful, masterful deceivers, or they just stupid Teletubbies that don't know how to read. It's one or the other, y'all. But I tell you, listen here, listen here. I may be a baby, I may not be on his level, but I must teach you, and I'm going to read to you like your mother should have read to you when you was in bed. I'm going to prove him to be a liar. Now, what Yaki is doing, the back of Yaki, the one that gave him his back, that's Malaki. I'm sorry, they together now, they won. The prostitute and the pimp have joined. They're one. So as far as I'm concerned, if I'm saying Yaki, he's inside of Malaki. And if I'm saying Malaki, he gave his back to Yaki. And that's what I'm saying. So excuse me if I keep mixing up their names. That's spiritual sodomy, y'all. That's what's going on over here. That's right. Now, I'm going to show you that by omission, he has lied about the whole narrative. We see that he jumps to Deuteronomy 30. All right, we're going to read Deuteronomy 30, what is the end of the matter, y'all. The very end of the matter. And then he's going to jump to a couple of scriptures in Deuteronomy 31. Well, we're going to get to Deuteronomy 31, but because they're lying to you about the narrative of the whole story, they're going to presume to speak what he wants to speak in. What are these laws? What are these laws? What are these laws? Then he jumps to Deuteronomy 9, 7 through 11 to show you the difference between the first tables that Yah wrote with his finger, went inside the ark, and that the ones that Moses wrote in the book went on the side. Well, I said that's a lie, and watch me prove what he's saying is a lie by omission. Watch me prove. If I prove, oh house of Israel, that is not only the 10 commandments that was on those stones and inside the ark, somebody smack Malaki all upside his head for me and tell that Negro to sit your behind down. Your stink lying behind down. Watch me prove him to be a lie and a masterful liar. The devil's messengers. Then he jumps to Kings, which is going to help prove my point that there was nothing in there as far as the word of Yah is concerned, but the 2 tables, correct? Well, we're going to get some understanding what was in there, y'all, by reading line upon line upon line upon line. What does that mean? Read the whole story. Stop letting these people come and gab to you and tell you what it is when it isn't. Read the whole thing from beginning to end. That's why y'all need mothers. That's why you should have sat on your mother's legs for 3 years. Amen. You sucking breast babies. Still can't find a nipple. I said it. Then he jumps to Ezekiel 20. And I said he stole it from me. All you got to do is listen to how I'm delivering the message from a year ago. And you can see how they lifted. So now we got some questions to answer. We're going to break down. This is his foundation right here. What he just quoted. That's his foundation and his premise for everything that he's spitting off to destroy this book, y'all. Well, we're going to play this game, right? The P document, the E document, the Jawish document, the L document, all these documents that split up, written by different authors. Who don't know that, y'all? Who don't know that Moses had scribes? Who don't know that he can't tell the end of the story until the 40 years later? Who don't know that? Well, who doesn't know that obviously Moses telling you the story of from Genesis all the way to Abraham, right? Obviously, there was books written of the testimony, and it tells you that. It tells you that in Josephus. It tells you that in Jubilees. It tells you that Moses was of the tribe of Levi, and all the books that our forefathers had was passed down through Levi. But these Negroes are not reading those original books. They have no testimony without this. But let's see how this works. This is a meaty, fat book, y'all. This is the book that's full of meat. Meat, no milk ministries. Ain't that right? Yeah. Well, let's see what happens when you make it a vegetarian. Let's see what you floating off and what you eating from, y'all. All right, we're going to tear this book up and find out whose dinner you want to eat at tonight. Y'all, shut up. Shut it up. All right. So here, what laws? He asks us, right? What laws are these? Did Yah, did he ever read that Yah said, I put laws? What did he say? He never used the word commandments. That's number one, false premise. He used the words ordinances and judgments. Do y'all not understand what an ordinance and a judgment is? It is not a thou shalt not. It is if and then, showing that you are choosing your own counsels, showing you that you are breaking the law that Yah has laid down. It's a if and then. Yah did not write laws against you. He said, I wrote ordinance, kukis, decrees, and mishpatim, judgments against you. And now he's going to presume to you by reading you the end of the book what those judgments are. Well, we're going to find out, because the book says, let the Bible do what? Interpret the Bible. But what you got up here is a bunch of gabbers just speaking their own high mind to you. Let the Bible interpret the Bible. And what he's doing is spitting off his own private interpretation. All right. So we got some questions to answer. Help me out here. Hold on. What laws were these? We're going to get to this. I say again that there is no conflict in the Bible. What looks to you like a contradiction, I agree. It looks like a contradiction. There is no contradiction in the Bible. There is no conflict in the Bible. If you see a contradiction or conflict, it's because it is you that don't have an understanding. It is you who are not sound in the faith. And it is you that don't understand higher knowledge, that there are higher heights and deeper depths. And Yah deals with people according to their faith. And these vegetables ain't got no faith, y'all. And they are weak in the faith because they have no understanding. And if they're weak in the faith, it's because they don't fear Yah. All right. So let me make that clear. Ezekiel never said, I gave them laws that was against them. He said, I gave them decrees, judgments, and against them. Hukim and mishpatim. That's number one lie that he just said. To presume to you to chop up Yah's laws now, where he never used the word law. The quails. We're not going to deal with the quails today. That's going to be next lesson. He polluted us with quails, y'all, to prove to us that meat was killing us. Blasphemy. That's his own interpretation, to push his vegetables and leaves. Numbers 11, 1 through 8, 21. We're going to get to the truth about the quails because he's lying again by what? Omission. Omission. If all, now he's got some young dumb on this other video, all our righteous forefathers, if all our righteous forefathers and mothers, y'all, ate meat, sacrificed, had blood on their hands, murdered the innocent little animals, Adam, Abel, Methuselah, Noah, who was the high priest of that age, Enoch, the king, Noah, Shem, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Job, Moshe. Oh, Aaron. No, we could throw away Aaron. He was evil, right? David. You want to quote Psalms and use David against David? Solomon. Even Elijah the prophet. Even Messiah himself. Even the 12 apostles, as you try to say, they ate grapes. They were fishermen, y'all. This don't make no sense. Fishermen that plucked for grapes. Well, what were they doing with the grapes, y'all? If they were pluckers of grapes, they was making wine, y'all. They was making wine, but we can't drink the wine because they were Nazarenes. But let me tell you something again. A Nazarene is not a Nazarite. I lived 15 minutes from the city of Nazarene. It's a city in the Galilee. And people are called after the name, just like Miriam. What's Miriam's name? Mary of what? Is Magdalene her last name? Is Magdalene some occult group that she followed? Does Magdalene represent what she believed? It only represented the city that she came from. So someone could call me Talia the Brooklyn girl. All right. The killing of the innocent animals, even Yah commanded to kill the innocent animals. This don't make no sense. How could he? Well, by the time you deduce that that couldn't be so, you got to throw away half of this book. We already know we're throwing away Paul. All right? We're going to just rip Paul out right now. Let's not even go there. We're not even going to read one of Paul. We're going to rip Paul out, right? Let's rip Paul out. How much of Paul is it? What he said, like 90% of the, what? That's half, 50%. But 90% of the New Testament, or 80%, what do you say, 70, 80? I'll give you 90. He says he want to get rid of the milk and the butter too, right? We're going to rip out 90% of Paul's teachings. Ha. Man, y'all looking kind of skinny already. Looking, you ain't got no backbone. You ain't got no backbone. Your back is tore up, Yaki and Malaki. You can't walk straight. All right. Right? What else we can get rid of it before we even start, y'all? What else can we get? All the Levitical, right? All the Levitical. Let's just go ahead and rip them out. We won't read none of Leviticus today. Don't worry about it. That's like all of this portion right here, Leviticus. Let's rip that out. Man, that's the fat. That's what makes it juicy and delicious. Right, babies? Say, yeah. That's my babies. Yeah, they drink milk and we eat meat. Well, they suck on it for now, but they spit out the bones. All right. What we got left? Not much of a book. What can we throw away before we even get started with this foolishness? Well, no, but Genesis 1, we can't. We can't do that just yet. We're going to split that up according to him. We got to split up, right? But yeah, I mean, no, you're right. You might as well. Only Genesis 1, right? Just one page, right? Wait. We got the premise. There, okay. Okay. I'll give you some of the preface and all of that. I'll let you have that, right? Let's get rid of Genesis. Except the first chapter. Can we keep 2? No, can we keep Genesis 2 on? No, no, we got to rip all of Genesis out. Let's rip that out, y'all. Let's rip that up according to him. That's right. You tell him, baby. You tell him. This is buffoonery. We ain't got much left, y'all. Y'all meal look pretty skimpy. What else can we just rip out? Deuteronomy, all of Deuteronomy. But he's still reading from Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy, wait, he said 7. He said Deuteronomy 9. That's about maybe 30, 31. That's a couple of pages. Let's just measure that out. That's a couple of pages. Because we're gonna read Deuteronomy, right? No, we can't rip it out yet. We gotta read it first. We gotta read first because he quoted from it. All right, I'll take that out at the end, right? All right, your spine is looking weak. Yaki and Malaki. Man, your chakras all up your back. Man, you need some healing. Let me put your hands on you. Let me put your hands on you. Straighten you up, Negro. Straighten you up. All right. Anything that I can throw away right now, Malaki? What have you not sanctioned? What? Exodus? Can we do Exodus? No, I got a hold on the Exodus. He's still quoting from Exodus. That's part of the story. First and Second Samuel. Let's throw that away. First and Second Samuel. Oh man. Now he's still quoting from Ezra, Nehemiah, and all of that, right? We're gonna go through the prophets. We're gonna leave the prophets alone right now. Because he said the prophets had it right. They did. We're gonna leave the prophets in there. No, he want to quote from the Proverbs and Psalms, but David wrote that, right? It don't make no sense, but I'm not gonna throw it away just yet because he used it. He sanctioned it. He sanctioned Deuteronomy. He sanctioned Genesis 1, right? We're not gonna touch Genesis yet. We know what it say. He sanctioned what else? He sanctioned Kings, right? He sanctioned that, right? He sanctioned Ezekiel. We're gonna keep Ezekiel. We already ripped Paul out. Ain't no more Paul. Daniel, man, Daniel ate beans for some years. I don't know. No, that's how he sanctioned Daniel. Let's leave Daniel, right? Well, we're gonna leave the book a little long, right? We gotta leave something for next week's portion. When you only got a little vegetables, you gotta share it for the 5,000 because it ain't enough. We're gonna make a miracle out of this. Watch this. All right, y'all, let's get to it. So y'all got questions, and I know some of these I call them nigga brews. Excuse my French, don't be offended. Y'all know y'all niggas. Right? What laws are these? That's what that Teletubby nigga brew that ain't got no spine that gave Yaki his back is speaking. Why does it seem that sacrifices will be no more in the kingdom? Right? That nothing shall die. The lamb is going to lay down with the straw. The leaves is the healing of the nations. Right? There's a tree that's going to yield 12 fruit every month for 12 months of the year. 12 manner of fruit. We going back to Genesis 1, y'all. Right? No more hunger, no more pain. What does this mean? Well, I'm not going to answer all of those questions today. That'll be in number 2, part 2, and number 3 of breaking the rest of his spine. But here's another thing. How do we know that what Timothy said is valid? Let's see. This lesson is about the Levitical sacrifices versus the dietary law. And this lying doctrine, this master deceiver, Yaki inside of Malaki is preaching to us today to turn it all upside down, to cause people to doubt. All right. Let's get started. This is a message that y'all gave me for me first, and for to all you Negroes that think I'm scared to call your name. Isaiah 8, a call to fear Elohim. That is the beginning of the matter, and that's the end of the matter. And if you understand that, you're going to understand everything that Yah is trying to say to us from the beginning to the end. Starting at 11. For Yahweh spoke thus to me with a strong hand and instructed me not to walk in the way of this people, saying, don't say a conspiracy concerning all about which this people say a conspiracy. What is he saying? This is what Yah is saying to me as a prophet, because I know that these knot-headed, chauvinistic, thug, gang-slinging, gun-slinging, cursing, down and trodden, the women is conspiring against me. Since I first came on, they all watching me, are they not? All of y'all have come out of these ministries. Some of y'all actually came out of honor and humility. Is that not true? Right? Yes. And there has been a conspiracy to shut me up, ignore me, don't put no attention on me, don't mention my name so nobody can back check on who I am and what I'm saying. There's been a conspiracy to lie and give false accounts of me. There's been a conspiracy to dig up my dry bones in a graveyard, way, way, way from them. But they have traveled across the seas to walk across my graveyard, y'all. This is idolatry. This is necromancy, to try to pick up bones on me and dig out my past by false accusations and false witnesses and false testimony, just by gossip and hearsay. No witnesses, right? That's the conspiracy. to speak all manner of evil, so you won't hear the word that Yah has given me to deliver to you, O house of Israel. I want you to know I'm not speaking to Malaki. I'm not speaking to Yaki. They're already underneath my foot. I'm speaking this to the house of Israel that's weak in the faith. Those of you that have come new to this walk and you've listened to these Negroes spin your head upside down and create an orgy with them. That's right. There's been a conspiracy to gang rape me, y'all. I mean, in the spiritual sense. There's been a conspiracy. But don't say there's a conspiracy. What does he mean by saying, don't say this? Neither fear their threats, nor be terrorized. I'm not scared of you, gunslinging Yaki and Malaki. I'm not scared of you. What you gonna do? You over here talking about you gangster almost killed somebody over tofu speech. You gangster for the word. You gangster. You fool. Yahweh Zebaoth, the host of heaven, is who you must respect as holy. That's right. And Yah has declared who's holy and who's not. He has declared what is good and what is evil. He has declared how you should walk holy and how should you not walk holy. And for someone to come along to say that Yah said to do this is holy and to do this is clean, let no man come and say what Yah has made holy, unholy. Let no man come and say what Yah says I have made clean, clean. This Negro is speaking blasphemy. But you must respect and fear the one who is holy. So I respect and fear Yah. I don't respect none of these Negroes up here that jumped on the YouTube just because they can memorize books and gab you all day long. These men aren't holy. You think Yah delivered Lucky, this coffin, sick fool that's been on drugs all his life to come deliver the oracles from heaven to you? This don't make no sense, Israel. And he tells me I'm not worthy and I'm not holy. I declare that I'm holy. I declare that I'm worthy to speak his word. And Miriam, as soon as she submitted to her husband, who was that? Yahoshua, he cured her of how many demons? 7. They called her a prostitute, but who knows how much more went with that? All with 7, we don't know. But as soon as she submitted herself to her husband, she was worthy to deliver the first testimony of his truth. And that was in 3 years and a half of time. But I declare to you that I've been clean and holy and purified from sin, fornication, lies, deception for over 12, 13 years. And I'm worthy to speak his word. And I'm worthy to eat the bread of the priest. And I'm worthy to be his female warrior, y'all. Because we had those in the time of Paul, and we had those in the time of Messiah, and we had those in the time of the judges, and we always had females who was willing to ride and die with our king, Yahoshua HaMashiach. But I'm not riding Yaki's back. That's who you claim you riding for. He will be a sanctuary for both houses of Israel. That's the remnant that's going to return. But he will be a trap and a snare for the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the leaders of Israel. Many will stumble over it, fall, be broken, and be snared and be captured. Wrap up the testimony, y'all. They are going to be trapped and stumble over this word. Wrap up the testimony, meaning hide it from these fools. They don't understand it. Seal the law amongst my disciples. These Negroes is not Yahoshua's disciples. I will wait for Yahweh, who hides his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. Behold, I and the children whom Yahweh has given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel That's the remnant, y'all, from Yahweh Zebaoth. We are going to be his army when he returns us. We're going to be his battle axe who dwells in Mount Zion. All right, hallelujah. Isaiah. We didn't rip out Isaiah yet. He sanctioned it. Afflictions to idolaters. We at chapter 8, verse 19. When they tell you, that's what they telling you all over the YouTube right now. Consult. Get your wisdom from. Ask. And he'll answer. Consult. Seek after those who have familiar spirits. Who can't see that all these fools on YouTube got familiar spirits and demonic spirits? They look like babbling trolls, y'all. Who can't see that Yaki and Malaki is working through a familiar spirit? Who are those that work through familiar spirits? Those that consult and get knowledge from dead people. Let me help you understand. Who is that? Who is those? That's Dr. Sabi, dead man from sickness and disease. I don't care if the government gave it to him. If he had the knowledge that was above all knowledges was the tree of life, his little herbs should have fought that in a war and won. And this other doctor, African Bubas, what's his name? Dr. Layla Africa. That's who this fool is consulting with. Dead people, getting dead wisdom from dead people. And their knowledge is nothing but knowledge through familiar spirits. That's who they consult with. And with wizards, that's Yaki, who chirp and who mutter, blah, 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 right? Right? They chirp and they mutter. They ain't got full speeches, y'all. It's not clear what they saying. It's all over the place. Should they consult with the dead on behalf of the living? Should I consult with Dr. Sabi about what I need to do now? This Negro is dead. Should I consult with Yadabada Africa? What's his name? Who? Alala Africa? Ilela Africa? This dead Negro try to tell you how to eat to live forever? It don't make no sense, y'all. But Yehoshua is alive. And so is our forefathers. And they all ate meat because he's the Elohim of the what? The living and not the dead. Turn to the law and the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, surely there is no dawn, there is no morning for them. They will not see the light of the new day, of the everlasting day, the kingdom of eternity. They will pass through it. Pass through what? The law and the testimony. And they're going to skip over this day because they're going to see darkness, y'all. Very distressed and hungry, y'all. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be stressed and hungry. And it will happen that when they are hungry, because they have no truth, they have no word, they haven't eaten the real bread of life, they will worry and curse their king and curse by their king. Isn't that what all these fools are doing? Oh, I swear by Shema. Oh, I swear the name of Shema. It's a demon. They curse. They curse by their Elohim and by their king. Those are wizards that consult with the dead. They will turn their faces upward and look to the earth. Where they looking to, y'all? To the earth. Why? Because they hungry. They digging in dry dirt for food, thinking that the herbs that y'all eating is the herbs that was in the garden, thinking that the fruits that y'all are eating are the fruits that was in the garden or that's in Revelations. But they are digging through dry earth, and it's nothing but thorns and thistles. That's the herbs that they swallow. Dry grass, y'all. They hungry. That's right. And they're going to see the stress and darkness and the gloom of the anguish. They will be driven into thick darkness. And that's what we got all over the YouTube. A bunch of fools, a bunch of wizards, necromancers that's consulting with dead spirits for their knowledge and not Torah. All right. 1 Timothy and 4. He wants us to tell Timothy, I ain't tearing up Timothy. No, I left that in there. Right? I left that in there. Yah has gave a prerequisite by which to know if they true prophet or not, or if the book is a word from a true prophet or not. What's the prerequisite, y'all? How will we know? How do we know that Timothy, whoever wrote 1 Timothy, is a real prophet or a false prophet? That he speaks falsehood. So if a prophet comes and speaks, and what he says comes to pass, but he comes in the name of Yah, we know Timothy prays Yahweh, not the mistransliteration of what they say. He came in the name of Yah and Yahushua. He came from the house of Israel. He was not a Gentile, y'all. We proved that. He spoke according to the law and the testimony, y'all. And what he's saying is coming to pass. So that's how we know that this warning that Timothy has given us is true. Warning against false teachers. One, but the Spirit says expressly, hear this, O Israel. They want to tell you that what they're not teaching is going to harm you. Yes, it will. It's a doctrine of a demon. It is not the doctrine of Genesis 1. And I'm going to prove that. But not today, y'all. Not today. Expressly, the Holy Spirit is warning them that in the last time, the latter days, the later times, y'all, some will fall away from the faith, paying attention, giving their ears to listening to seducing, misleading, dead spirits and doctrines, instructions, or teaching of demons. He says, how is going back to the Genesis diet, fruits and vegetables, doctrines of demons? We're going to get to that. We're going to answer that question why it's a doctrine of demons. Anything that speaks against the true faith and the power of Yahushua is a doctrine of demons. Anything that falsifies and says that what Yah said is good is not is a doctrine of demons. Anything that speaks against the law that Yah said this is what's holy and this is what's clean is a doctrine of demons. And so they're not just getting you to doubt meat, they're getting you to doubt his bread and his water. But what did we eat in the garden that created sin, y'all? Meat? Meat? Was it meat that they ate that deceived them? So whatever this fruit was, it's a doctrine of demons that they ate. But guess what it was, y'all? Came from a tree. Came from a tree, y'all. Came from the earth, and that's where they still looking, down to the earth. And they're going to be hungry. They're going to be hungry. Was there ever any law in Genesis that says thou shalt not eat meat? No. No delegation at all. None. They're presuming. They're presuming that if you want to walk in the physical of Genesis, they're presuming that. 2, through the hypocrisy. And if you listen to Yaki inside Malaki, all you hear is hypocrisy. Yes, the scripture that says herbs didn't heal him, but the word of Yah healed him. Oh yeah, I agree with that. Listen to this. The healings is from the herbs. The diet of life is from the herbs and the fruits and the vegetables. Hypocrisy. How can we be teaching y'all a diet of death. How can we teach you anything wrong when I tell you to put down the smoke? You just put it down a month or two ago. You've been high this long. Y'all, this nigga want to tell you about smoking weed. This nigga want to say, what's wrong with telling you to put? Why is he attaching his sin, his impurity, his idolatry? Smoking weed is idolatry. It's a defilement of the temple. Why he want to attach that to y'all's law? Why are you going to attach drinking hard alcohol? Why are you going to attach your smoking and defiling your temple for all this time to the word of Yah? You see the trickery and the slickery in them? Nah, Malaki, you put down the drugs. You put down the alcohol and let me see how much weight you going to carry when it's all said and done. Let's see how healthy you going to be when it's all said and done. You ain't even did this. That don't make no sense. He ain't even tried this, y'all, for a year. He ain't even walked it out for a year to be speaking so faithful about what he's teaching. Through hypocrisy, y'all. They speaking by the Bible against the Bible. It's hypocrisy. They read one script here and the next page, tear it out. It's hypocrisy, y'all. They are using the apostles against each other, y'all. Not just Paul. They are using the 12 apostles against each other. Not just against Messiah. They're using Messiah against the prophets. They're here to start a war between the house of Israel. But they're speaking in hypocrisy. They need to live this out. Through hypocrisy of men speaking lies. And I'm going to prove these lies today. Branded in their own consciousness as with a hot iron. They see it. Ain't no speaking to him. He's branded, y'all. He's branded. He's been speaking to demons while he's been smoking the whole time, trying to obtain higher knowledge. The two doctrines: prevent, hinder, restrain marriage. What could that be, Israel? It couldn't be promoting celibacy, because we clearly see that y'all promoted that from the beginning throughout the whole book, from Messiah's words to the prophet's words to them not coming to their wives before coming to the mountain 3 days, all the way from Paul. You may not look like Paul, but they all promoted celibacy. You're not going to rip that up. So it couldn't be that. What could it be, y'all? Prevent, hinder, restrain marriage. Huh? Cohabitation without paperwork. That is a preventing of marriage. The doctrine that as soon as they sleep, you my wife. That's whatever this is a doctrine of demons that's floating all around Israel. So it couldn't be abstinence, y'all. It couldn't be don't get married because they forcing everybody to have a covering. Even after they done slept with 20 men. And the Lord says, you are one flesh. Where do you see a law that says you're no longer one flesh? What is the only law and principle that a woman is no longer joined to the flesh that she slept with according to Torah? That he dies. But you teach whores and whoremongers that just because they came into the faith after sleeping with 100 women, after sleeping with 10 men, that they can get married now. And the brothers can have 7 for the kingdom's sake. That's the doctrine of deacons. Because this is not marriage according to Torah. There's one definition of marriage. And there's one law that Yah says, force them to get married. But they have restrained that. What does the law say? What is the law said about marriage? When 2 virgins, right? When 2 virgins are burning, or when a young man has taken a young maiden's virginity, not by rape, but by seduction, force them to get married. But they prevent this. These leaders, these men, they tell their sons, that's not the one. Even if they have been discovered at sleeping and having sex at 14, what's supposed to happen? When? Be betrothed and held until they become of age and forced to get married. But these Negroes has taught another law, y'all. And so they prevent and hinder and restrain marriage. What Yah said is marriage. What they got is not marriage. It's whoredom all over the land. That's a doctrine of demons that's floated around these Negroes. And commanding to abstain from foods which Elohim created to be received with thanksgiving by those who believe and know the truth. He created these creatures to be received. That means eaten, y'all. And like I said in Genesis 1, you're not going to see a law that says thou shalt not eat. For every creature, we're not talking about vegetables. We're not talking about herbs. But if you want to talk about what came from the ground, is the herbs the only thing that was created from the earth? What else was created from the earth? Animals. So that's a lie. Every creature of Elohim is good and nothing is to be rejected if it is received with thanksgiving. For it is sanctified, holy, set aside, set apart through the word of Elohim and prayer. And that's what we see in the Old Testament. If you instruct the brothers, and that's what I'm here to do, to instruct you, that's right, against this false demonic doctrine, the brothers of these things, you will be a good servant of Messiah Yahushua, nourished in the words of the faith and of a good doctrine which you have followed. And that's what I'm here to do, Israel. I'm talking to y'all to instruct my brothers in the faith to beware of these seducing demons that teach you doctrines of the dead. And they're not teaching you Genesis 1. All right. Now, how do we know that this is not a false prophecy, y'all? Once again, how does he call this a false prophecy? Written thousands of years ago. But yet, you've all said these are the last days. And it comes true. It comes true. It don't matter who wrote it. It's true. All right. 3, as I urge you, when I was going to Macedonia, stay at Ephesus, that you might command certain men not to teach a different doctrine. I command minds never to teach this foolish doctrine. Don't you whisper it in the corners of a house. Don't you suggest it. Neither to pay attention to myths and endless genealogies, which cause disputes rather than Elohim's stewardship, which is in faith. But the goal of this command is love out of a pure heart and a good conscience and sincere faith, from which things some, having missed the mark, have turned aside to vain talking. It's vanity what they speak. It's sciences of this world, but it's not the fear and the knowledge and the wisdom of Yah. Desiring to be teachers of the law. This Negro desires to be a teacher of the law while he still never understood it. Rips it apart, throw it away, nullifies it. Though they understand neither what they say, and I'm going to prove that Malaki has no understanding in what he is yapping off at the mouth, nor about what they strongly affirm. He speaks with no authority, y'all. He has no authority. He's a hypocrite speaking his doctrine. And Yaki is a necromancer consulting with the wisdom of the dead. But we know that the law is good if a man uses it lawfully. As knowing this, that law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and insubordinate, for the unrighteousness and sinners, for the unholy and the profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers, for the sexual immoral, for the homosexuals, for slave traders. That's Dowell, Pastor Dowell. He's a slave trader. For liars. That's all of these teachers on YouTube, right? For perjurers. That's Yaki inside of Malaki. And for any other thing contrary to sound doctrine, sound teachings, according to the good news, the flesh, the flesh, of the glory of the blessed Elohim, which was committed to my trust. 1 Corinthians. Don't worry, we're going to get to your Deuteronomies. 1 Corinthians 6. Our bodies. Now, I've decreed. I've already said what it is that I believe and what I teach. But all of those teachers are not out here for anyone, right, to say anything about what I believe and what I don't believe, because they haven't heard it all. I've said that I believe that there will come a time that Yah will say, put down the what? And the wine. Why? For crying and mourning. There's a day that Yah is going to require this of the remnant. That dark day, y'all, we're going to mourn and we're going to cry. So there's no feasting at that time. And that soon come. But that's for a time, y'all. Everything has a purpose, place, and time, and reason and season underneath the sun. Right? I believe that. And I also believe that when he transforms us into angels, that we don't eat food for any life or any strength, but we can if we choose. That's what I taught. Is that not what I taught? And I didn't get that from any other book outside of this one. And I'm gonna prove it. I didn't get it from the book of Adam and Eve. I didn't get it from Enoch. I didn't get it from Jubilees. I didn't get it from Jasher. I didn't get it from Josephus. I didn't get it from the book of the Nazarenes or the Essenes. I got it all from this book, y'all. It's all there. And I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it. 1 Corinthians 6. Our bodies are members of Messiah. 12. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are profitable. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of anything. What are we talking about? Foods for the belly and belly for the foods. But Elohim would bring both of them, y'all, to nothing. He's going to render them inoperative. He's going to abolish food. He's going to abolish the belly that needs the food. Both of them are good for nothing for the kingdom. For the kingdom is not in what? Eating and drinking, but the fruits of the Spirit, which is joy, peace, love, temperance, meekness towards each other. That's the word, y'all. Don't tell me about the physical. Be in the world and not of it. We are not of this world, but we in it. Belly for the foods. That's all foods, y'all. And food for the belly, but both of them is going to be rendered inoperative, abolished, useless for the kingdom. Where did that come from? You Genesis 1 going back to the diet. Both the body is not, but the body is not for sexual immorality. That's what these Negroes have done. But for Yahweh, and Yahweh for the body. Now Elohim raised up Yehoshua and will raise us up by his power, not by herbs, not vegetation, y'all. We're going to raise back up from the dry dust when Yah pours his rain upon us like grass and like dew. When he speaks his word, y'all, and he's not throwing herbs. He's not throwing herbs on us. Don't you know that your bodies are members of Messiah? Shall I then take the members of Messiah and make them members of a prostitute? So you want to join with Malaki and Yaki inside Malaki? May it never be so. That's an orgy, y'all, and a nasty one. Or don't you know that he who is joined to a prostitute is one body? Oh, they're fornicators. They're fornicators, y'all. And y'all know they fornicators. For the two, says he, will become one flesh, but he will join to Yahweh is one spirit. Flee sexual immorality. Even sin that a man does is outside the body. But he that commits sexual immorality sins against his own body. Or don't you know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which you have from Elohim. Why is he talking about sexual immorality versus food? Because it's of none effect. It has nothing to do with the Holy Spirit outside of what Yah said, what is clean and unclean, what is holy. It has nothing to do with the defilement of your body. It is not about the food. Yah's word has declared what's making you sick. Drinking water, you'll die from every disease that he claims he's cured, according to the word of Yah. If you were bought with a price, therefore glorify Elohim in your body and in your spirit, which are Elohims. But this is not about food. This is not about food. This is a false worship. Now, for those of y'all I have gone into, they are trying to tell you that there was a dispute in the body of Yahushua during the time of the apostles. They are going to try to tell you there was a dispute during the time of the prophets. They want to tell you there was a dispute in the time of Paul and the apostles over vegetarianism or veganism doctrine versus eating meat. Lie. There was no dispute between the apostles over a doctrine of Genesis 1, the vegetarian diet, over eating meat. And I go through that in the lesson. Which lesson do I do that in? Faith. I go through faith, part 3, about this whole dispute. What was it over? And they're creating a straw man argument for you. It was not over whether we should eat meat or not, whether meat was wicked or not. It was over the law of eating things. People that were living outside of Jerusalem, outside, they didn't have their farms. They couldn't fish for themselves. They're eating amongst Gentiles, y'all. We were spread out amongst Gentiles, and so are you. And you buy your meat in their buckets. And this was about the law concerning what he gave to Gentiles about abstaining from things sacrificed to idols. There was no dispute whether meat was unclean, whether meat was wicked, whether meat was a doctrine of demons, whether eating meat was a commandment of Yah. There was no dispute, y'all. Deuteronomy 4. Now, I said Malaki has created a false narrative. He's created a false narrative, y'all, and he's lying on the script. And so those of you that is tired already of hearing me scream, fast forward this all the way to the end. When I get to Deuteronomy 30, all the way to the end of this, my last few clips, where I'm going to chew Malaki up and spit him out, y'all, and show him to be a liar. But those of you who are new in this word, who have realized that you want it all of the book, you don't want no onions and leeks on your plate. You don't want no berries and nuts and juices. You want some meat on a plate. Listen to the whole thing. And those of y'all men that swear up and down that you got the wisdom, listen to a whole matter before you make a judgment. Did he ever exclude? Listen to a woman. No. Listen to the matter and hear it out. Because this woman today ain't going to do nothing but read the words. It is not my words that's going to speak, but the testimony according to the book. All right, Deuteronomy 4. Let's get to it. Verse 1. So now I'm going to take y'all through, right? I can't read the whole book of Deuteronomy, but I'm going to prove his narrative to be a lie. What I said was the truth. What Malaki said is that the words that was written on the tablets by the finger of Yah, when he went up to the mountain the first time, was in an ark. Lie. I said it was a lie. And I wrote something there. He thinks I don't know what I'm talking about because he thinks he knows what he thinks he knows. But wait, y'all. Just wait. This is going to be good, Israel. And so I say all of you, if by the end of this, you have found out that what I'm saying is the truth and Malaki is a lie, I command all of y'all to blast Yaki and Malaki out and let them know that they have no foundation to speak on. None. Now I know people are going in and tearing up the books that they found in Tibet, no witness for, right? As if our apostles delivered the word in Asia. What? Don't go in Asia. Our apostles went in Asia? What? This is where we getting our books from. We know where Vatican got our books from. They've been all around this land, our land, where we've been scattered. But Asia, Tibet, y'all, we never went in. There's no lost tribes of Israel in the Tibetan mountains, right? That's where the doctrines of all the new ages came out of. Tibet and the Himalayan mountains. And Buddha is angry. His fat behind is sitting up there angry because he tried to be a vegan and he couldn't lose the weight and he still died. And he didn't come back, y'all. He didn't resurrect. And so Buddha and all his evil demonic apostles is going to now lie because they jealous of Messiah because he raised from the dead, y'all. And twist his words up. Talk about our Messiah was here. Our Messiah ain't never went to no Himalayan mountains and said anything to them chinky monkeys. Huh? Oops. All right, Israel, we back in. I know y'all don't like when I say that. So now, as I said, he has told a false narrative, spent the story, omitted things, and retold you a falsehood. And he's lying on the scripture, just like a master deceiver would. Right? So we're going to slow this down. And we're going to go through Deuteronomy. Now, I can't read it all, but I'm going to bring out the points to take you through the storyline. Because what Deuteronomy is doing a recap of the whole Exodus story. Okay? So it don't need for somebody to do a recap of the recap if they don't believe in the recap. All right. So let's read Deuteronomy 4, starting at chapter 1. Let's get the storyline. Now, Israel, listen to the statutes and to the ordinances. That word statutes is kukim. One might translate that as law, but it is law as in decrees and ordinances, how to do something. It's not the thou shalt not. It is a how to. It is an explanation, or it is an act that they require you to do in order to, right? And the word ordinances is not ordinances, it's mishpatim, which means judgments. Judgments are sentences based on if you do or if you don't do. Then it's an if and then, meaning you missed the mark somewhere. Brothers are still pulling out scriptures talking about if you decide. Or, right, it don't even say if you decide. And I'm going to tell you that line on the script. But when you see if and thens, right, these are statutes and judgments, which I teach you to do them, that you may live and go in and possess the land which Yahweh, your Elohim of your fathers gives you. You shall not add to the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish from it, that you may keep the commandments of Yahweh, your Elohim, which I command you. Your eyes have seen what Yah did because of Baal Peor, sexual immorality. For all the men who followed Baal Peor, Yahweh, your Elohim, has destroyed them from the midst of you. But you who did cling to Yahweh, your Elohim, are all alive today. Behold, I have taught you statutes, mishkuchim, and ordinances, judgments, mishpatim, even as my Elohim commanded me, that you should do so in the midst of the land where you go in to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. I'm in Deuteronomy 4. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the peoples, who shall hear all of these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what great nation is there that has an Elohim so near to them as Yahweh our Elohim is whenever we call on him? What does that mean? That if we have a problem with anything in life, we call upon Yah, and he tells us what? I've already spoken it. It's in my instructions. What great nation is there that has statutes and ordinances so righteous as all these laws, which I set before you this day? Okay. Deuteronomy 4, skip it on down to 13. He declared to you his covenant. So Malaki is going to tell you it's just the 10. I'm going to say to you that it's not just the 10, because those 10 things are not called commandments by themselves. What are they called? The 10 great words, things. They are umbrella titles of law and commands. They are an umbrella. They are a title of a spirit of a matter. But those things must be explained. Murder to America has a different definition than murder in the Torah. Murder to Yaki inside Malaki has a different definition to murder in Torah. Murder in India is a different definition than murder in Torah. And so, do you think that Yah just said it and there was not going to be an explanation? So he declared to you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even the 10 Duvarims, the 10 commandments. He wrote them on 2 tables of stone. 14. Yahweh commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that you might do them in the land where you go over to possess. All right. So we see, hold on. Let me go back. No. So we see 10 great things. And then we see statutes and judgments. Yah has commandments, and then with those commandments, there were statutes and judgments. How do we know this? Thou shalt keep the Shabbat. And then there's an instruction. And then the first command that he gave us, or the thing, was keep Shabbat before we got to 10. And when they didn't follow the instructions because they wasn't sure, we found someone picking up stones, not sure if that was breaking the Shabbat. But it was, because it wasn't in his heart. He reasoned the law out in his heart. So therefore, Messiah made a statute and a decree. Everybody stay your behind in the house, since y'all don't know how to get. That's right. That's what he said. That's a statute. That's a decree. And the judgment was that he was going to be stoned. And the reason why the judgments are there is so you can do what? Fear. He was stoned in front of everybody. And Yah said stone him to put the fear in everybody. All right. Okay. The covenant at Horeb. We're going to go through the story. Deuteronomy 5 now. He's taking you through the timeline, right? 1, Moses called to all Israel and said to them, "Hear, O Israel, the statutes and ordinances which I speak in your ears this day, that you may learn them and observe to do them. Yahweh our Elohim made a covenant with us in Horeb." Yahweh didn't make this covenant with our fathers, but even us who are all of us here alive this day, Yahweh spoke with you face to face on the mountain out of the midst of the fire. I stood between Yahweh and you at that time to show you the word of Yah. So what happened? Between 4 and 5, something happened, y'all. That is not the same thing. Yahweh spoke with you face to face on the mountain out of the midst of the fire. I stood between Yahweh and you at that time to show you the word of Yahweh. For you were afraid because of the fire, and you didn't go up in the mountain. Saying, and now from 6 to 21 is the repeat of Exodus 20, the 10 commandments. All right, well, it would seem that he had to repeat the 10 commandments again. But what the ordinance is and statutes, y'all. Okay. We still in Deuteronomy 5. Moses intercedes for the people. Now, what day was that? That day was at Horeb to receive the covenant? It was Shavuot. Did they not already keep Passover? I want y'all to understand that Yah is taking them through the plan of salvation. And they all require what? Sacrifices. So we had the atonement Passover sacrifice, which was mercy, to cover us to be holy enough to approach the mountain. Then we had to go through baptism and abstain from sexual uncleanliness. He had to holy us by keeping us to keep the Shabbat first, to bring us to the mountain. And then he was going to do Shavuot with us, y'all. Is there not a sacrifice required for Shavuot? Why did all of the herds come out, you ask? Oh, you hold that question. I'm going to prove to you that we was the sacrifice and so was our animals. We were going to burn, but not die. And who shall ascend up into the holy mountain and stand in his fire and not burn? That's right. There was going to be a sacrifice right there on the mountain. But we was afraid to do what? Die. And you Negroes are still afraid to die for the word now. All right. Moses intercedes for the people. These words Yahweh spoke to all your assembly on the mountain out of the midst of the fire, of a cloud, of the thick darkness with a great voice. And he added, no more. Why didn't he add any more? Because we stopped him, y'all. He didn't add any more when he spoke because we stopped him. Was Yah going to continue to speak had we not stopped him? So what are you talking about, Malaki? And I'm going to prove to you that what Yah was going to say had we listened. Because after giving the instructions, now you're guilty, right? Once Yah has given you the commands, once you learn Torah, are you not guilty again? What is required when you find out you are guilty of breaking the commandments of Yah? A burnt offering, a guilt offering. Y'all, there was going to be an offering. All right. But that came out the blue. We learned that in Egypt. Oh, no. Yah had to give us instructions on how to do what he was going to do. And then when we became the living sacrifice, we were going to die and the animals were going to burn too. We were going up. We were going up in that mountain to stand in the fire, but we didn't do it. We stopped Yah at 10, so he didn't add any more. He wrote them, the 10, on 2 tables of stone and gave them to me. It happened when you heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness while the mountain was burning with fire, that you came near to me, even all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And you said, behold, Yahweh our Elohim has shown us his glory and his greatness. And we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that Elohim does speak with man and he lives. Now, therefore, why should we die? We were the sacrifice. And the animals was right there with us, y'all. They were going to get the same judgment. The animals is attached to your sin. Just like with Sodom and Gomorrah, he said, slay all the animals. Just like with the Amorites, he says, slay all the animals. There are certain sins that your animals bear. We did not want to die. We were going to be the sacrifice, y'all. For this great fire will consume us if we hear the voice of Yah, our Elohim, any more, then we shall die. They stopped Yah at 10. And that's exactly what he's doing now. Malaki is doing the same thing that we did at the mountain. He don't want to hear no more. For who is there of all flesh that has heard the voice of the living Elohim speaking out of the midst of the fire, as we have and lived? Go near and hear all that Yahweh our Elohim shall say, and tell us all that Yahweh our Elohim shall tell you, and we will hear it and do it. All right, let's see. We're in 5 now, 28. Yahweh has heard the voice of your words. Your words, Israel. You stopped him at 10. When you spoke to me, and Yahweh said to me, I have heard the voice of the words of this people, which they have spoken to you. They have well said all that they have spoken. They didn't want to fear. They didn't want to fear. They were too afraid to be afraid. And so what they said was right. They were going to die. The problem is that they weren't going to live again. Oh, that there was such a heart in them that they would fear me. They did not want to fear Yah. And with their children forever. Go tell them, return to your tents. But as for you, stand here by me, and I will tell you all the commandment. Was it just 10? And the statutes and the ordinances, which you shall teach them, and that they may do them in the land which I give them. So what was those ordinances and statutes aside from the 10 commandments that we see in Ezekiel that said, I taught you my laws, my statutes, and my judgments? What were they? But you didn't want to do them. You went after the stubbornness of your own heart and gave you over to your own counsel. What was the counsel that they went and took instead of Yah's ordinance? What were the ordinances and statutes that Yah gave to them that were not good because they refused to do the statute and ordinances of Yah? Well, Malaki, you're going to have to show me what these statutes and ordinances are that are of Yah, and don't tell me herbs, because I don't see it nowhere, no how. But I will show you in this book that you just ripped up, whatever what you gave me left. I'm going to show you what Yah said about the trees in the garden. I'm going to show you the commandment against what you're doing, right? Because that's what y'all doing. Y'all over here trying to cleanse and sacrifice, to cleanse your inside, thinking you're holy and pure. And Isaiah talks about this. Those that sacrifice in the gardens, one after one another, thinking they holy now. And those that eat pork and swine and rat. He didn't say meat and say nothing is going to harm them. But as for you, stand here by me and I will tell you all the commandment and the statutes and the ordinances which I shall teach them, that they may go and do them in the land to possess. All right, we're taking you through the story. We're in Deuteronomy 6. This is a recap of the storyline. Since he's going to lie to you like a demon and omit stuff. The greatest commandment, Deuteronomy 6. And what? Now, this is the commandment, the statutes and the judgments which Yahweh your Elohim commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you go over to possess it, that you might fear Yahweh your Elohim to keep all his statutes, all his commandments, which I command you, you and your sons and your sons' sons, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. After that, you get Shema from 3 to 9. Shema, O Israel, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh Echad. Behavta et Yahweh Eloheka. Bekol levavka, uv kol nafshika, uv kol meudeka. Tatati, tatata. We in 20 now. Teach your children. 20. When your sons ask you in the time to come, saying, what do the testimonies, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh your Elohim has commanded me? You see how he changed the word. Go back and see if it says commandments or if it says testimonies, right? Then you shall tell your son, when we were in Pharaoh, bond servants in Egypt, and Yahweh brought us out of the Egypt with a mighty hand, and Yahweh showed great and awesome signs and wonders on Egypt and on Pharaoh and all the house before his eyes. That included his animals, y'all. And he brought us out from there that he might bring us in to give us the land which he swore to our fathers. Yahweh commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahweh our Elohim, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive. As at this day, it shall be righteous to us if we observe to do all this commandment before Yahweh our Elohim, as Elohim he has commanded us. Well, what was the first statute that he commanded us, y'all? All the way from Egypt. The whole testimony is the story of Exodus that he wants to pick apart. But Yah commanded, what was the first thing? The Passover, y'all. That was a statute and that was an ordinance that he gave us to what? Give us life over death in Pharaoh's house. While he gave Pharaoh all these plagues to cover us. It didn't remove the sin from us. It covered it, right? All right. I'm in Deuteronomy 7, moving forward. Let me make sure I didn't skip anything. I'm at 6, going forward. He's given a storyline. Deuteronomy 7, Elohim's promises, 12. And it shall happen because you listen to these ordinances and keep and do them, that Yahweh Elohim will keep with you the covenant and the loving kindness which he swore to your fathers. And he will love you and bless you and multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your body, the fruit of your ground, your grain, your new wine, and your oil, the increase of your livestock. What? Why would he increase livestock? Why do we need livestock? Okay, and the young of your flock in the land which he swore to your fathers to give you. You shall be blessed above all peoples. There shall not be male or female barren among you. What? Or among your livestock. They bear our sins too? Yes, that's right. If we break the law of Yah, our personal livestock bears our sins, y'all. Yahweh will take away from you all sickness and none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which you know he will put on you, but will lay them on all those who hate you. Yaki and Malaki, just wait for it, y'all. You shall consume all the peoples whom Yahweh your Elohim shall deliver to you. Your eyes shall not pity them, neither shall you serve their Elohim, for they will be a snare to you. Moving forward. All right. Why didn't Yahweh allow Israel to eat their herds in the wilderness? I answered the question, but let's keep going. They were going to be our final atonement sacrifice. He already took us through Passover. He showed us the Shabbats, right? And he brought us to Shavuot. We had one more to do. That's what Isaiah talks about. Is this the day? One more day, y'all. Yom Kippur, where we got to burn, where we got to bring our souls, right, to hunger. No food, no water, but there's still an atonement sacrifice that goes with it. Our animals go with it, y'all. If we sin and we get sick, our animals get sick. If we repent, they get healthy too. And when we eat them, they bring health and strength to us. That's how it works, y'all. Why didn't Yahweh allow Israel to eat their herds in the wilderness? Well, let's not listen to wizards that speak to dead people. Let's not listen to gabbers. Let's not speak to people that ride the backs of wizards. Let's see what thus says Yah. Let the Bible interpret the Bible. For Yah said that there's a time and a purpose and a place, and a season and a reason for everything under the sun. And Yah answers the question, why, oh why? All right. Deuteronomy 8, moving forward through the story. Remember Yahweh your Elohim. 1, you shall observe to do all the commandment which I command you this day, that you may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers. You shall remember all the way which Yahweh your Elohim has led you these 40 years in the wilderness, that he might humble you. That's why y'all had a lot of flack. We're gonna see. You would have came out with arrogance of the hard work and what you gained in Egypt with your flocks, which is wealth in the wilderness. And you would have been haughty, just like you Negroes are haughty now. He did it, right? Why? That he might humble you, to prove you. He put you through a test. That not eating meat was only going to be for a short time until you got in the land. How do we know this? Because in Deuteronomy 2, once we crossed outside of the wilderness and got into the land of Jordan, he told us to do what, y'all? Eat meat. But not just that, he told us to go and buy and sell with Edom and buy and sell with Moab. Go buy your food. He didn't say just bread. He said, go buy your food now from Edom with money. Go buy your food with Moab with money. And Moab and Ammon did not do it. That's why they got cursed. It was only going to be for the wilderness time. It was to prove us and to humble us, right? And to test you, to know what is in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. He humbled you and allowed you to hunger. This wasn't just about meat, y'all. No vegetables, no leeks, no onions, no garlic, no pepper, no salt, none of that. No vegetables, y'all. No vegetables. How you gonna talk about he ain't let you eat the meat? Negroes, y'all didn't have one root to pick. He didn't give you one herb to swallow. You out your mind. He did it to humble us. He allowed us to go hungry to see if we were going to complain. There was something he was trying to teach us. And fed you with manna, which you didn't know, neither did your fathers know, that he might make you know that man does not live by bread alone. He's not even talking about meat. The word for bread is an overall term for all food. And all food is an overall term for meat, vegetables, and bread. That you may understand and know. He's trying to build your faith in him. That man does not live by bread only. Food for the belly, belly for the food, but both of them is going to be nullified, abolished, done away with. But by the every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh does man live. Who, I'm skipping to 16, who fed you in the wilderness with manna, which your fathers didn't know, that he might humble you. Here's the second reason why humble. Humble you, and that he might prove you to do you good at the latter end. It has something to do with walking by. What's the good that he wants for us in the latter end of coming out of the wilderness? Unless you say in your heart, my power and my might of my hands has gotten me this wealth. The herds is your wealth, y'all. That was Abraham's wealth. That was Isaac's wealth. That was Jacob's wealth. And when you read Zechariah in the prophecy about the wilderness, the 144 remnant in the wilderness, Zion, he said, you're going to have what? Your herds and your flocks. This is an arrogant mentality. It is the mentality of our people now that we work so hard for it that we think we got what we got because we work hard. This is called idol worship, which is the first commandment. Covetousness, which is the last commandment. You want to know how to get covetousness out your heart? Right here. Right here. My power and the might of my hand has gotten me this wealth. You liars. But you shall remember Yahweh your Elohim, for it is he who has given you the power to get wealth. That's the point of it all. It ain't got nothing to do with eating meat or not eating meat. It was to humble you so you don't have a wicked thought about idol worship and covetousness in your heart. But you shall remember Yahweh your Elohim, for it is he who gives you the power to get wealth. And that's the journey that we got to find out right now if you're going to walk in Yah in the wilderness. That he may establish his covenant, which he swore to your fathers as at this day. Having this ideology in your mind is breaking one or two or three of the commandments of Yah. It's idolatry, it's adultery, it's worshiping and serving other idols. The work of your own hands, your power, right? That's you saying, I'm the power. It's the ultimate idol worship you could ever have. Because all of the worship that they did when they worshiped other powers was to do what? Get wealth. He's teaching you. All right, where are we at? All right, we get into the story. I know most of these nigger brews won't listen to this. But like I said, if you tired of me hollering, go to the end of this. At the very end, last 5 clips and get your proof. Deuteronomy 9. He's taking us through the storyline. Please understand this, Israel. The golden calf. 7. Remember, don't forget how you provoked Yahweh your Elohim to wrath in the wilderness. From the day that you went forth out of the land of Egypt until you came to this place, you have been rebellious against Yahweh. 8. Also in Horeb, you provoked Yahweh to wrath, and Yahweh was angry with you to destroy you. When I was gone up onto the mountain to receive the tables of stone. So the first tablets of stone that Yah wrote with his finger, carved out with his own power, Moses had no hand in it at all. Yah spoke the 10, we stopped him at 10. Therefore, we couldn't get the final instructions of his ordinances and his judgments that was going to be able to purify us from all sin, to go up to the mountain and stand in the fire. Then we stopped and said, no, you Moses, I don't want to fear Yahweh any more than this, because I'll die. You go up, and all that Yah has commanded you, we will do. This is the same covenant, y'all. All right? So he's up now. He goes up by our demand. When I was going up onto the mountain to receive the tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant, which Yahweh made with you, then I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I did neither eat bread nor drink wine. Negroes, Malaki and Yaki, or Yaki and Malaki. I dare you to try to do a 40-day fast and think that y'all are 2 witnesses that y'all's bringing to deliver the straight path. Y'all Negroes gonna drop dead on day 20. -5. Try it, Negroes. Talking about what's the food and no water about. You can't do it, fat behind. Yahweh delivered to me. And don't get me wrong, I got a little lump and pump on me too. Yahweh delivered to me the 2 tables of stone written with the finger of Elohim. That's the one he wrote. Notice, I want you to hear the language because it's going to change based upon the one that Malaki talking about. This is clear. This one is the 2 tables of stone. Yah carved it out. Yah wrote on it. Moses didn't have no finger on it, right? But yet there were statutes and judgments that we were supposed to get. We got the 10 commandments, but where was the statutes and ordinances, right? written with the finger of Elohim. And on them was written like all the words which Yahweh spoke with you on the mountain, out of the midst of the fire in the days of the assembly. It came to pass at the end of the 40 days and the 40 nights that Yahweh gave me the 2 tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant. Malaki is still going to presume to you it's only the 10. All right, let's keep going. What happened to these ones? The golden calf, Deuteronomy 9, take you through the storyline. 15. So I turned and came down from the mountain, and the mountain was burning with fire, and the 2 tables of the covenant were in my 2 hands. Notice he keeps saying covenant and not commandments. Covenant and not commandments. Watch. There's a reason why. The 2 tables of the covenant were in my 2 hands. 16. I looked, and behold, you had sinned against Yahweh your Elohim. You had made yourselves a molten image of a calf. You had turned aside quickly out of the way which Yahweh had commanded you. 17. I took hold of the 2 tablets and cast them out of my 2 hands, and I broke them before your eyes. So the ones that Yah declares by his word that he wrote and carved with his finger was where? In the Ark of the Covenant? No. Where are they now? Let's read, because Malaki lied. He said those ones that Yah carved out with his finger, this is the only, is in the ark, and it was only 10. No, that's a lie. I know what he thinks. He thinks I don't know it. I know what he thinks he knows. Let's keep reading, Malaki, and see if you know what you think you ought to know as you ought to know it. But you need to be taught again. All right. I fell down before Yahweh is at the first 40 days and 40 nights. I didn't neither eat nor drink water. He fasted for another 40 days, y'all. Well, how is that? No herbs. How did he live, y'all? Sustained by what? His every word, y'all. His spirit. You Negroes can't do no 80 days, much less 40, and live. All right. Because all of your sin, which you sinned, what was happening? He was dying, though. I promise you, Moses couldn't have did another 40 for y'all Negroes' sin. He wasn't going to allow it. In doing that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh, to provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and the hot displeasure with which Yahweh was angry against you to destroy you. But Yahweh listened to me at that time. Yahweh was very angry with Aharon to destroy him. And I prayed for Aaron also at that time. I took your sin, the calf, which you had made, and burnt it with fire, and stamped it, grinded it very small until it was as fine as dust. And I cast its dust into the brook that descended out of the mountain. Why did y'all do that? Why did y'all do this? It's an eternal law that exists here. What's this law that he's invoking before he even taught it to us? The jealous husband. The jealous husband, right? It was at least 1 million of us down there. And now we had to find out which ones, he couldn't just kill them all. So now he had to put in a law that exists in this world into effect. The jealous husband. Make them drink it. And whoever drank it was going to die, y'all. Who did it? Who committed this trespass? The jealous husband. That's an eternal law in this world. They don't know. They don't understand nothing about that. They think just y'all made up some kind of powerful thing. No, it's a law in this world. It's about your consciousness being put on the water, right? It's about your consciousness being put on the food. You drink it guilty, the water's going to become poison to you. You eat it guilty, the food is going to become poison to you. If you innocent and you clean, the food will be innocent and clean. If you innocent and clean, your waters will be purified for you because your heart did not go astray and cheat on Yah and commit adultery. All right. They want to talk about eternal law. They don't know what they talking about, y'all. They don't know what they talking about. All right, let's keep moving. Deuteronomy 10, moving on to the story. So the first tablets, first Yah spoke 10, we stopped him, said, no, we're going to die. We didn't want to be a perfect sacrifice. That caused us not to have the total fear of Yah and a pure heart. That caused us not to get the rest of the ordinances and the wisdom of Yah. So we said, you go up, Moses, get it for us. Everything he says, we will do. He went up with the finger of Yah. He wrote it, carved it out, gave it to Moses. We were down there. This Negro was dead because this was going on 80 days, y'all. They swore Moses was dead. They were still in idol worship because if I die or any of these Negroes die, that's your leaders. What now? Keep on moving according to what? The man or Yah's words? That was idol worship too. And now he came down. These fools was committing adultery and idolatry with the calf, a golden calf, breaking the first commandment and a second commandment of adultery, and even more than that, right? He came down and said, these Negroes is partying, not to me, to something else. He cast the stones down, the ones that was written, carved out with his finger, destroyed, grinded the idol, the one we had an orgy with, and made us drink it, the law of jealousy, to bind us to a curse if we were guilty by consciousness. All right. Deuteronomy 10, moving on. That's what happened, right? Right, Malaki? Am I telling a lie? Am I telling a lie? You don't have to listen to this woman. Read the book that you're trying to destroy. The new tablets of stone. Now, there was another new tablets made all over again. He's going to presume to tell you that it was written only by the finger of Yah. He's going to presume to tell you that only the 10 commandments was on those tablets. All right, up until now, somebody be like, ooh, I got to hear this. Am I lying or was he lying? All right, y'all might not be sure. And those of y'all listening to me, y'all might be like, pause, let me find out. Wait, hold on. Deuteronomy 31 said, wait, hold on. We at Deuteronomy 10. Don't skip. Come on back. Let's get the storyline. Come on back. That's what he said, y'all ran ahead of me. I would have called you, but you didn't sit in my counsel. And you ran before knowing anything. The new tables of stone. Okay, Malaki, or Yaki in Malaki, Malaki on the back, whatever you want to call it. Got your back, got your front, whatever y'all doing, right? One, at the time Yahweh said to me, he said to Moses, you cut the 2 tables of stone like the first and come up to me on the mountain and make an ark of wood. Now he made the ark of the covenant. 2, I will write, Yah said, I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark. Remember I said in another statement, how do you know that was only the 10 commandments on there? Oh, I know y'all. I know what y'all quoting. I'm telling you that there was more commandments than 10. Y'all never saw them to even know. You never saw them. So Yah says, make the first as the same. Put the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark. These are the ones, these tablets that Moshe carved out, but Yah wrote. You notice it won't distinguish that it was by the finger of Yah this time, right? That's a presumption, right? All right. And it says, there's a reason why Yah's not saying it like this time. This is the one that Malaki is saying. Well, it's not the one he's saying, but this is the one that was put inside, called the covenant, right? Now, if I can prove that there was more than the 10 commandments on those stones, Yaki gonna have to eat his words. I'm gonna make a challenge right now. If I prove by the word of Yah that what was on those tablets that was in the Ark of the Covenant that Malaki swears is the whole covenant, the truth and nothing but the truth, the everlasting, eternal ordinances of Yah. If I prove by his word that it was not only the 10. Somebody to tell Yaki in Malaki, sit your behinds down and shut up. You're not worthy to sit at my table. All right, I'm speaking. Y'all don't like the way I talk? I know. I don't like the way the woman talking. How dare she talk to the men of Israel like this? Because y'all a bunch of females. That's why. Hypocrisy, talking about it. People teach emotionally. And that's all you see Yaki and these brothers up here doing. Like a bunch of women. So, I made the ark of acacia wood. And I cut 2 tables of stone like the first. And went up onto the mountain, having the 2 tables in my hands. And he wrote on the tablets, that would be Yah, right? According to the first writings, the 10 commandments. All right. Which Yahweh spoke to you on the mountain out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And Yahweh gave them to me. I turned and came down from the mountain, and I put the tablets in the ark which I had made. And there they are, as Yah commanded me. One would read this by itself and say, no, see, Malachi's right. It was only the 10 commandments. It don't say only the 10. Let's keep reading the story. And those tablets was the ones that's in the ark of the covenant. All right, y'all, this is getting good, right? Y'all like, show it to me, show it to me. Where is it? Did he rip it out the book yet? We still legit with Deuteronomy 10? We can still read that, Malaki, according to you? Let's bring it out. Talking about, I ain't on his level. Negro, sit your behind down in your little Teletubby, milk, drinking, eating, vegetable mushed up in the spoon with no teeth. Yum, yum, yum. Sit your behind down in the high chair and lock his behind up and feed him. We got babies that do better than you with this word. They eat and they swallow and they burp when they finish. Deuteronomy 10, we're going through it right now, right? That's right. We are meat, no milk ministries where babies grow in the word and mature eating meat. And if we doing milk, y'all, it's called milk and honey ice cream. And that's after the meat. That's called dessert. But we're not doing your spoiled baby milk. Okay. Deuteronomy 10. Let's move on with the story. Y'all like this, right? Bedtime. 12. Now, Israel, what does Yahweh your Elohim require of you but to fear Yahweh your Elohim? You're going to see that's the issue. It's the beginning of all wisdom. We didn't want to fear, we still don't. To walk in all his ways and to love him and to serve Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. And to keep the commandments of Yah and the statutes, which I command you this day for your good. For your good. What is these statutes, y'all? What is these cooking? Behold, to Yahweh your Elohim belongs heaven and the heavens of heavens, the earth with all that is in therein. Only Yahweh had a delight in your fathers to love them and to choose their seed after them, even you above all peoples, as at this day. Circumcise therefore the foreskins of your heart, that's the new covenant in the old, and be no more stiff-necked. Deuteronomy 11, moving on. Elohim's great blessings, 13. And it shall happen if you shall listen diligently to the commandments which I command you this day, to love Yahweh your Elohim and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. 14, that I will give the rain of the land in its season, the former rain and the latter rain. What's that, y'all? He's speaking physically, but actually, what's the former rain and the latter rain? The Holy Spirit, the good teachings, that you might gather in your grain, first fruits. Bring your fruits worthy of repentance, right? You got to get the rain and grow the fruit by the real word before you can give your offering. And new wine, not water and wine, y'all, and your oil. I will give you grass in your fields for your livestock, and you shall eat and be full. Oh no, we only eating the grain and the new wine and the oil? Is that so? Messiah only had bread and oil and wine at what y'all call the Last Supper? That was the food? There was nothing else on his plate. Well, what did he sop the bread in, y'all? It couldn't have been beans. Well, it definitely couldn't have been cabbage juice. And you shall eat and be full. What are we eating? The grain, the new wine, the oil. He's going to give grass to your fields for your livestock, and we're going to eat them. That's the only reason I have livestock, y'all. And you shall eat and be full. Don't tell me about hair, because all the livestock don't grow hair that you can cut off and use. Only the sheep. Otherwise, you got to skin them joints, kill them for the hair and the skin. Okay, well, what was on the temple, y'all? Oh my goodness, y'all made the temple out of what? Guess what? Where do you think he got the skins from to make the temple? Ah. Some goats had to die in the wilderness, y'all. The priests must have ate them. Who said that they never ate meat the whole 40 years? That's a presumption. Take heed to yourselves, lest your heart be deceived, and you turn aside and serve other Elohim and worship them. And then in 18 down to 22, he recounts the Shema all over again. Shema Israel, Yahweh Elohim, 2 times. All right, let's go on with the story now. We in Deuteronomy 11, moving forward. A blessing and a curse. So like I said, remember the premise, the foundation in which Yaki and Malaki want to build. Before we can talk about herbs heal you and meat is killing people, we got to get past the contradictions in the Bible. We got to get past the problems and the falsehood in the Bible. We're getting past it right now, because can't nobody move forward with anything that this fool is trying to say about herbs until we get past this. The foundation in which he's building his whole doctrinal demonic argument off of. 26, behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. So whatever it was that Yah set, it was set that day. It wasn't in Genesis 1. It was right there. I set before you blessing and curse. The blessings, if you shall listen to the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you this day, and the curses, if you shall not listen to the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day to go after other Elohims which you have not known. Skipping, I'm 29. It's not skipping. I'm in 29. It shall happen when Yahweh your Elohim shall bring you into the land where you go to possess it, that you shall set the blessings on Mount Gerizim and the curses on Mount Ebal. Now, y'all know that when this Negro went and read 30 and 31, he went all the way to what happened on Mount Gerizim and Ebal. We're not even there yet. So what's those 2 tables? Okay. What's that covenant? What was on it? Let's see. Yah said, I set before you curses and blessings. We in Deuteronomy 40 years later, y'all. Deuteronomy 12, one place of worship. So now, right after that, we set up sacrifices in Mount Gerizim and Ebal. But what was those stones that were set up? What was the covenant that he set up with this day? That he said, I put curses and blessings. Blessings and curses right before you. If you do, you shall live. If not, you shall, right? What does he say right after that? Deuteronomy 12. This is about serving and worshiping other idols. One place for worship. 1. These are the statutes and the judgments which you shall observe to do in the land which Yahweh your Elohim, your fathers, have given you to possess it. All the days that you live on the earth, you shall surely destroy all the places in which the nations that you shall dispossess serve their Elohims on the high mountains and on the hills and under every what? Green tree. And you shall break down their altars and dash in pieces their pillars and burn their asherim with fire. What is the asherim, y'all? Their plants, their groves of plants. There's no altar with plants, y'all. And you shall cut down the engraved images of their Elohim, and you shall destroy their name out of the place. You shall not do so to your Yahweh, your Elohim. So we had to destroy their altars because they did all kind of defilement. They spilled the blood of all kind of unclean animals. They committed orgies and they sacrificed babies on those altars. They planted trees beside their altars, y'all. Yes, trees. There's no trees on the altar. No trees on the altar, y'all. Destroy their asherim, right? Cut down in their engraved images and all their pillars. They are defilement. But to the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there, even to his habitation, you shall seek, and there you shall come, and there you shall bring your burnt offerings and your sacrifices and your tithes and the wave offering of your hand and your vows and your free will offering and the firstborn of your herd and of your flock. That's what y'all said. Okay, he wants to rip Deuteronomy 12 out. Let's watch. Let me show you that he's explaining the ordinances and the mishpatim that we wouldn't keep, that we refuse to hear, that he would have told us right after the 10th, because that's how you serve Yah versus serving idols. He has to explain to you what to do and what not to do to serve and worship Yah. And there shall you eat before Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall rejoice in all that you put your hands to do. Then you can rejoice in the work of your hands after you know that I have blessed you because you have blessed me. You and your household in which Yahweh your Elohim has blessed you. 8, you shall not do after all the things that we do here this day. You shall not do after all the things that we do here this day. Every man, whatever is right in his own eyes. What did Yah accuse Israel of doing the whole time? Can somebody tell me? The whole 40 years, what did he accuse Israel of doing? He gives us his commandments of how to worship him versus what? Whatever's right in their own eyes is their own heart's desires. So it couldn't be the sacrifices, y'all. Yah's making a distinguish. He's distinguishing right now this after your own heart. What's the heart? What's the eye, y'all? That's right. Right? He's distinguishing the commandment, the thing you shouldn't do after your own eyes, which is your own heart, your own counsel, versus what Yah just commanded here, which is the sacrifices. So he asked, how do you know which commandments are those? Well, why don't you let Deuteronomy 12 tell you? There's a distinguishing factor right here that tells you that that is Yah's will, and there's a will that you did reversing with that which Yah said. And what did they do? They sacrificed under every what? Great tree. They sacrifice under asherim in the groves, in high mountains. That's what these Negroes do. They go to high mountains. They go to hills. They go on the trees. That's idol worship. Idol worship, right? They build up altars that Yah said with hewn stone, not Yah, right? Who's going to build me a temple without hands, right? Pillars, tall buildings. No, Yah said, I'm right here. I'm going to dwell with you, not above you. He's going to dwell with us and burn them down, because they did all this stuff in any and every place, and that's what Israel did. And when they did that, if Yah's name wasn't there, who was they sacrificing to? Idols and demons and devils. And Jeremiah gives a wonderful example of what that looked like, because the blessings that they got when they did it to idols came quicker, faster, and stronger than how they wanted to get it through Yah. All right. We in Deuteronomy 12:13. Take heed to yourself that you don't offer your burnt offerings in any place or every place you see. That's right. And I'm telling you, stop offering your offerings to every high hill and mountain and green tree you see on this YouTube. But only where Yah has put his name. but in the place which Yahweh shall choose, in one of your tribes, there you shall offer your burnt offerings, and there you shall do all that I command. 15, notwithstanding, you may kill and eat flesh within all your gates, after all the desire of your soul, according to the blessing of Yahweh your Elohim, which he has given you. This is not a if and then, y'all. This is not permissive will. This is a blessing from Yah. The unclean and the clean, you may eat of it, as the gazelle and as the hart. Only you shall not eat blood. You shall pour it out on the earth as water. You may not eat within your gates the tithes of your grain, or of your new wine, or of your oil, or the firstborn of your herd, or of your flock, nor any of your vows which you vow, nor your freewill offerings, nor your wave offerings of your hand. But you shall eat them before Yahweh your Elohim in the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose. You and your sons and your daughters and your male servant and your female servant and the Levite who is within your gates. And you shall rejoice before Elohim Yahweh in all that you put your hand to do. Take heed to yourself that you do not forsake the Levite as long as you live in your land. 20, when Yahweh your Elohim shall enlarge your borders as he has promised you, and you shall say, I want to eat meat, because your soul desires to eat meat, you may eat meat after all the desire of your soul. That was a blessing. That was a blessing. That was notwithstanding, you may kill and eat flesh within all your gates, after all the desire of your soul, according to the blessing, not the curse, not disobedience, y'all. If you keep my commandments, I bless you. If you don't, I'll curse you. That's disobedience. But this is a blessing. This is about keeping his commandment. I'll bless you within all your gates. And he's going to give you abundance of food, y'all, of clean meat. And I will allow you, and you can desire it all you want, as long as if you are keeping my commandment. He's trying to teach you another secret, y'all. What's the secret? Keep the commandments and live. Eat in Yah. Eat in righteousness. All right. Deuteronomy 12:28. Observe and hear all these words which I command you, that it may go well with you and with your children after you forever, when you do that which is good and right in the eyes of your Elohim. Booyah! Shut your mouth. How do you know which commandments Yah gave that is good for you and what is not? Because he declared it. How do you know which commandments are the ones that he gave after your own eye and heart? Because he said it, and sacrifices wasn't one of them. He just called the sacrifices that he just commanded good and right in the eyes of Yahweh. How dare you speak against it? How dare you call it evil? You wicked faggot. He's wicked, y'all. He is teaching you against the word of Yah. He is not teaching you life. He's teaching blasphemy. Talking about he's teaching Genesis 1. He's a liar. He's teaching against the words of Yah that he said is good and right in Yah's eyes. Let's keep going. And then right after that, what does he do? Look at what he's explaining, y'all. Warning of idolatry. 29. When Yahweh your Elohim shall cut off the nations from before you, where you go in to dispossess them, and you dispossess them and dwell in their land, take heed to yourself that you do not be ensnared to follow them, that they are destroyed from before you, and that you do not inquire after their powers, saying, how do these nations serve their Elohim? That was the difference. He had to show us how to worship and serve Yah according to what was right and good in his eyes for us to get a blessing, versus how the nations around them served their Elohim, other Elohim, and got their blessings. And they were blessed. Did he not say when we walked in there, we saw the Canaanites with grapes as big as their head? We ain't never saw grapes so big. How did they get grapes that got blessed that big, y'all? It's called Nephilim grapes, demonic grapes. But you thought that was a blessing. How did they get the abundance of all of that in the land? They worship their Elohim. And we're going to see the same argument when we go down in Egypt. When Jeremiah, he was like, no, we don't want to worship Yah. He take too long to bless us. We want to worship Asherim and the queen of heaven and bake cakes to her and burn incense to her. Because when we do it to her, we get our goods quick. We get blessed quick. That was the issue, y'all. That was the issue. So now he got to teach us the first commandment, y'all. What does it mean to serve Yahweh and worship Yahweh and not Elohim? You think it was just the 10? Hold that note. That you don't follow after that. After that, they are destroyed before you. And that you do not inquire after their Elohim, their power, saying, how did these nations serve their Elohim? I will do likewise. And that's what y'all doing now. You shall not do so to Yahweh your Elohim. For every abomination to Yahweh which he hates have they done to their Elohim. For even their sons and their daughters do they burn in the fire to their Elohim. That was the distinction, y'all. There was a law in this land that they kept. They understand blood for blood, child for blessing. It is in this world. But Yah said, not so. I'll give a replacement for you. You don't burn your children. I found a replacement. But Yah burns his children, though. What was Abraham putting up Isaac for? And then a ram coming instead. There was a foreshadow. What did Abraham know that y'all don't know? There's a law in this land about blood. Where does blood come from? Y'all, what is blood? Where did it come from? From the earth. He said, pour it back to the earth like water. It's red like clay. It runs like water. It has protein, irons, minerals, zinc, all the stuff that's in the earth. It's called blood. And it belongs to the earth. And these people sacrifice their children, their blood, to get a blessing back from the earth. What did they worship, y'all? Mother Earth. Yes, the groves and the fields. That's how they got blessed. There's a law in this land. There's a law in this world. The blood belongs to the earth. It is called Mother Earth because Yah talks in Revelations that the earth will give back her children. But did she want her children after she birthed them to die and go back in her belly? No. No, Mother Earth didn't want that. Ha. They don't understand what they're talking about, y'all. 32. So now Yah's making a distinction. What and how not to serve other Elohim and idols versus him. Whatever thing I command you that you shall observe to do, you shall not add thereto, nor diminish from it. We go into chapter 13. Now Yah gives a description of serving other Elohim and judgments on those who do it. That sounds like a judgment against us. Deuteronomy 14, we have clean and unclean animals and tithes. So he already said what you can eat and what you not. And we know that the nations ate other animals and sacrificed pig and swine and rat and their children and every other thing and their sperm and every other thing on the idol. But Yah said only the clean. And so let me show you what's clean and unclean so you don't do what they do. Let me tell you how to give your tithes to me and where you should get it so you don't do what they do. The great Shabbat in 15, And the year release, what is that? Yom Kippur. Did we reach a Yom Kippur yet? Nope. Nope. We kept having to do Passover. We didn't get Passover right or Shavuot. We cannot get to Yom Kippur and do that right before we do the Passover right. That's why we had to keep doing it, y'all. And before we do Shavuot right, that's why we got to keep doing it, covering it over and over. And before we do Shabbat right, he said we broke the Shabbats. Well, what is the feast days, y'all? Shabbats. Well, what's required on the feast days? Sacrifices. But he said the institution of tithes and giving your animals is wicked. What? So now he explains the great Shabbat in the year release, the Shabbats of Shabbats, leading all the way to Yom Kippur. But there's a sacrifice required for those. And then he talks about feast days in 16. So you see, y'all giving a distinction of how to serve him in all these chapters, explaining the first commandment and a description of how not to. Moses made that up. These are laws against us. No, we're going to read the prophets and find out what Yah was upset with them for concerning the sacrifices. There was nothing wrong with the sacrifices themselves, but they abused it and misused it. All right, let's keep going. And then Yah says in Deuteronomy 12 and 20, you shall not, please read that for me, y'all.
You shall not plant for yourselves an Asherah of any kind of tree beside the altar of Yahweh your Elohim, which you shall make for yourselves. Neither shall you set yourself up a hill, which Yahweh your Elohim hates.
What? Don't put any plants or any trees at the altar, but they're going to teach you this is the diet of life versus the animals. What? Yah tells us to give him the clean animals, and this Negro is over here telling you to plant trees in your garden by your altar. And Yah said, don't do it. I hate it. This is not Genesis 1. Take your herbs, take your greens, eat it, poop it, and get your behind out of the house of Israel. There's a dividing line. It is those that is sighing and crying at the altar. And it ain't no plants and herbs there. Whatever that tree is that's in the garden, the temple of Yah, that the living waters are flowing from, and that springs throws fruit, is not any kind of tree or plant that is on this earth today. You lying bastard. Oh, we're going to keep going, right? We'll prove that it was only the 10 on the 2 tablets. We coming. We coming, y'all. She ain't said nothing. Keep reading. Keep reading, O Israel. Talk about how we teaching you something evil. Y'all said don't put no trees by the altar. Where's the altar, y'all? What's the real altar? Since they want to think they spiritual. It's the heart and the entrails. And what are they taking the earth for? To cleanse the altars. You lying devils. Deuteronomy 16. Let me fix that right now. Y'all not going to say, I don't know what I'm talking about. Hold on. Let me pause this. Let me fit this. Deuteronomy 16. All right, we back, y'all. We got it. Y'all not going to accuse me of lying on the word. Human error, but no contradiction, y'all. And no lies here. Deuteronomy 16. Let's read it again, y'all. One more time. Forbidden forms of worship. They want to talk about the spiritual and the physical. Y'all wrote this in the physical, but let's see the spiritual. What's the altar? Your heart and your entrails. And he said what? Put the blood of the bulls on your altar. All right, what he said don't do. Let's read it.
You shall not plant for yourselves an of any kind of tree besides the altar of Yahweh your Elohim, which you shall make for yourselves. Neither shall you set yourself up a pillar, which Yahweh your Elohim hates.
How do we know how to worship Yah? Because he said so. He don't want no trees on your altar. And I'm going to say it again. All of this stuff that they're doing is to cleanse their entrails. That's what's killing them. Their heart, high blood pressure, cholesterol. Their lungs, what are they smoking? Trees, right? Because there's an altar there and there's an altar there, y'all. They smoke. Y'all hate y'all. They smoking trees. They put trees on the altar. And they burnt them. They burnt them as a sacrifice to Yah. Because what we're supposed to do is burn ours too. They put trees on altars and they're trying to purify their minds to get higher knowledge when they smoke the trees. And they're trying to purify their bodies when they eat the herbs and drink the herbs because they got sin in their hearts. And they don't want to keep the words of Yah. They're looking for an easy way to purify themselves. But Yah hates this. All right. You want to rip out Deuteronomy 16? What is that? Is that the P document? Is that the E document? Is that the J document? Is that the L document? Is that the P and the D and the E all together? Which document is that? All right, I ain't done yet. We got more to prove, y'all. This getting good, ain't it? That's right. Lift up your voice like a trumpet and show my people their sins. I'm showing you that he's a sinner. All right, but you still didn't prove your point yet. She just yapping away. But we don't do the altar. We don't do the sacrifices no more. Y'all over here arguing about a dead system. Is it dead, y'all? No. No way. All right, so what is the testimony? The book of the law put on the side of the ark, that is a testimony against you. All right, let's see. Let's see how he's twisting the word of Yah. Deuteronomy 27. The altar of Mount Ebal. So now we know we 40 years in, or actually 39. Moses was told that he wasn't crossing over. And he's giving instructions to the children of Israel and Joshua to take his place. He's renewing the covenant with them for the umpteenth time, y'all. And making another covenant with all that are there this day. That's not the covenant with our fathers. This is a whole new generation. They died out now. They died out. He's making a new covenant. The altar of Mount Ebal. 1. Moses and the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. It shall be on the day when you shall pass over the Jordan to the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you, that you shall set yourself up great stones and plaster them with plaster. And you shall write on them all these words of this law, not the ones that Moses went up the second time to get. He still says it's 10. I say, no, it wasn't. I've yet to prove that. You notice that I skipped. I'm going to do a little jumping with his behind now, right? First, to disprove what these ordinances or that he's saying was against us, right? When you have passed over that you may go into the land which Yahweh you shall set yourself up great stones. These wasn't 2 tablets, but these were greater tablets. And plaster them with plaster. And you shall write on them all the words of this law of your fathers has promised you. It shall be when you have passed over the Jordan that you shall set up these stones, which I command you this day in Mount Ebal. And you shall plaster them with plaster. There you shall build an altar to Yahweh your Elohim as an altar of stones. You shall lift no iron tool on them. You shall build the altar of Yahweh your Elohim of uncut stones, and you shall offer burnt offerings thereon to Yahweh your Elohim. Booyah. And you shall sacrifice the peace offering. Booyah. And you shall eat there. Bam. And you shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim. What? And you shall write on stones all the words of this law very plainly. All right. Now, there's the ones that went on the side. How could those two ones go on the side? I'm going to show you that he's missing so many pieces. Yah told him to write all of these words on two gigantic stones. Very plainly. All right, let's keep going. 27:11. Moses commanded the people the same day, saying, these shall stand on Mount Gerizim to bless the people. And when you have passed over the Jordan, Simon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin, these shall stand on Mount Ebal for the curse. What was written against you, y'all? The laws? Y'all never said that. He's lying. Reuben is called ordinances and judgments, meaning what should happen if you don't or if you do. Let's see. Reuben, Gad, Asher, and Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali, the Levites shall answer and tell all the men of Israel with a loud voice, cursed is the man who makes an engraved or molten image, an abomination to Yahweh. There's the ordinance. Cursed is the man. That's the judgment. Cursed is the man who makes an engraved and molten image, an abomination to Yahweh. That's the command. That's what was added. That's against you. He made the same classic mistake that the apologists make, annulling the law of Yah and not realizing that what was written against us as a witness against us was one, the curses. Watch me prove it. Oh, I'm just saying that. No, you see an ordinance now attached to the commandments. Cursed is the man. Yah didn't say that the first time. He didn't say it the second time, not even the third. But now what he'd write is going to be an ordinance and a judgment written against us for a witness against you. How? Let's keep reading. Let's not let Yaki and Malaki yak us to death, and let's read the book. And this is why he wants to rip it up, y'all. He don't want you to read book. Cursed is the man. That's the ordinance, that's the decree, and that's the mishpat, the judgment, who makes an engraved or molten image and an abomination to Yahweh. That's the commandment against you. Yah said, thou shalt not make it. This one is, cursed is the man that makes it. You don't see the difference? One is against you. One was a commandment of life, and the other one was a commandment of what? Death. This one is a commandment against you. The other one was a positive commandment. You shall worship Elohim with all your heart. All right. To the work of your hands of the craftsman, and set it up in secret. All the people shall answer and say, amen. So shall it be. And then we go on, and all you see now is, cursed is the man that what? Dishonors mother and father. Cursed is the man that curses mother. Cursed is the man that sets bounds beyond it. Cursed is the man that all of these are commandments of Yah, but is now attached with a curse against you. All right, let's keep going. Okay, well, you didn't prove what's on the other 10. Wait. I didn't know you want to get smacked so quick, Yaki and Malaki. Just wait. You can't wait to the end of my lesson. You're just going to listen to a little bit and say, oh, there she go again. Deuteronomy 28. The blessings of obedience. So then he just gave you the letters of the ordinances. Those are not laws now. You see no command. What you see is a decree and the ordinance now. In blessed is the man that blah, 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 blah. Cursed is the man that da, da, da. Cursed is the man. That is different than a command. Now you see the blessings of obedience. Obedience. We saw the curses of disobedience. That's why it's written in a negative way. Now we see the blessing of obedience. We in Deuteronomy 28. Remember, this Negro skipped you to Deuteronomy 31, 30 and 31. It shall happen if you shall listen diligently to the voice of Yahweh your Elohim to observe and do all the commandments which I command you this day, 40 years later, that Yahweh your Elohim will set you on high above all the nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come on you and overtake you if you listen to the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. All right. Blessings and curses now was set up right there. 2 chapters before he lied on Yah. Okay. The curses of disobedience, 15. But it shall come to pass, if you do not listen to the voice of Yahweh your Elohim to observe, to do all the commandments and his statutes, which I command to you, what day? Today. 40 years later. Then all these curses will come on you and overtake you. Okay, how can something be a witness against you if it don't keep speaking? You're guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. How could it be a witness against you? There has to be something that Yah set in stone that is going to bear witness to you even to the last day. All right. Deuteronomy 58. If you will not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in the book. So first he wrote it what? Where did he write it? On the 2 tablets of stone, one for cursing, one for blessing. And then he wrote it in the book. These are not commandments, y'all. These are curses and blessings attached to ordinances and judgments that were written for you and or against you. Watch. Let the Bible interpret the Bible. If you will not observe to do all these words of the law that are written in the book. So they were written on the tablets, also as a witness in stone and in the book. Why did he have to write it in the book and not in stone? Can someone be logical about this? Huh? It was a lot, but he wrote it on big stones. So they can read it and copy it. Well, how was the king going to get a copy, 2 copies of the Torah, if he couldn't read it in a book? Well, nobody but the priest could what? Carry the Ark of the Covenant. So of course he had to make a copy of the law that he wrote in those 2 stones in a book and put it on the side so that they can have what? Access to it. He's trying to make like putting it on the side meant y'all disregarded it. He put it in stone for you to ever know, and then put it in the book so you can carry it through your generations. That don't make no sense, y'all. He gonna say he put it on the side of the ark against you. Yes, it's against you. All right. That you may fear what? The ones that he put in the book on the side of the ark that you may fear, so you can have access to read, to fear. The glorious and fearful name, Yahweh your Elohim. Then Yahweh will make your plagues wonderful, and your plagues of your seed, even great plagues of the long countenance of severe sickness. Yes, the words that was written of the covenant that was made on Mount Gerizim and Mount Ebal was a witness against you because it included the curses. And he said the curses will pursue you, follow you all the days of your life from generation to generation. Watch this. And make your plagues wonderful, and your plagues of your seed, even the great plagues of long countenance and severe sickness. Why? Because you broke the covenant that was inside the ark, and you broke the one that was written on the side of the ark. Of long countenance, 60. He will bring on you again all the diseases of Egypt, which you were afraid of, and they shall cling to you. Also, every sickness and every plague, which is not written in this book of the law, that is the witness for against you for death. Yahweh will bring them on you until you are destroyed. 29, the covenant in Moab. That's where he made it. These are the words of the covenant which Yahweh commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab. It was a covenant besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. This covenant came attached with ordinances and decrees that was written against you as a witness. And I'm going to show you what else he declared is in this book that is a witness against you. And it's not the laws of Yah, and it's not the sacrifices. 29, the covenant in Moab. 14, neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him who stands here with us this day before Yahweh our Elohim, and also with him who is not here with us today. For you know how we lived in the land of Egypt and how we came through the midst of the nations through which you passed. And you have seen their abominations and their idols of wood and stone and silver and gold, which were among them. Lest there should be among you a man or a woman or family or tribe whose hearts turn away this day from Yahweh our Elohim to go to serve the Elohim of other nations. You want to see that was the issue the whole time. Lest there should be among you, y'all, I'm going to go into this. Watch this. Lest there be among you a root that bears gall and wormwood. Well, I'm going to show you that in this Hebrew, they say, ain't no law against smoking weed. Go into that word in Hebrew. It's the budding head of the earth, y'all. It's what is weed? It's a budding head of what? Gall and wormwood is what? Poison. Lest there should be among you high niggas. Speaking what? That's right. Go into the Hebrew. It happened when he hears the words of this curse, Yaki inside of Malaki, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart. To do what? To destroy the moist with the dry. What happens when you smoke, y'all? What happens to the brain cells? Dried up. It's called apoptosis. You lose the water membrane. You lose the living waters. You can't think straight. And you are witched. You're bewitched. That's right. You're bewitched. Keep smoking the herbs. Keep burning your incense. Keep putting burnt incense on your altar and trying to cleanse. You're high. You're dried up. And you try to mix the words of Yah, the moistness, the waters, with your dry foolishness. Yahweh will not pardon him, but then the anger of Yahweh and his jealousy will smoke against that man. And all the curses that is written in this book shall lie on him. And Yahweh will blot his name out from under the sky. Yahweh will set him apart to do evil out of all the tribes of Israel. Watch Malaki and Yaki in Malaki be set apart. Kick them out of Israel and wait to see Yah's judgment. According to all the curses of the covenant that is written in this book of the law. Let's see what that is. 22, and the generations to come, your children who shall rise up after you, and the foreigner who shall come from the far land, who shall say, when you see all the plagues on the land, that's us today, y'all, and the sicknesses with which Yahweh has made it stick. Yah did it, y'all. Yah made it stick. And that the whole land is of sulfur and salt and burning, that it is not sown, nor bears or any grass grows therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what we're waiting for, right? That's what's going to happen to Israel. Where? In Babylon. While they high and intoxicated, right? Mixed drink. That's what Yaki's been doing. He's been smoking the herb. He's been smoking worm and gall. The budding head of weed, y'all. Green herbs. Yaki has been burning herbs on his altar and trees on his altar. thinking he's purified. And now they're going to burn in Babylon thinking ain't nothing going to happen to them. Like Sodom and Gomorrah, Adamah and Zebon, which Yahweh overthrew in his anger and his wrath. Even all the nations shall say, why has Yah done this to this land? What does the heat of this great anger mean? Then men shall say, that'll be me standing afar off, because they forsook the covenant of Yahweh, the Elohim of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. And he went and served other Elohim and worshiped them, Elohim that they didn't know, and that he had not given to them. What this Negro Yaki inside of Malaki is over here worshiping other Elohim, the Tibetan gods, Buddha and their doctrines, the Hinduism gods and their doctrines, the Egyptian gods and their doctrines, that they sanctify the lamb and the goat above man, right? 27, therefore the anger of Yahweh was kindled against the land to bring on it all the curses that is written in this book. And Yahweh rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land as at this day. 29, the secret things belong to Yahweh, our Elohim, but the things that are revealed belong to us, to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. There's no secret that these Negroes are trying to meditate to get out of heaven. It was written right there in the book, y'all. It was spoken right there. Don't tell me who's going to go up and get it out of heaven, or who's going to go in the depths of the sea. Is right here, even at your mouth. But he wrote it, y'all. The words of this law right here. Okay. Now, y'all say she didn't prove her point. She just yapping. No, I'm not. I'm speaking and I'm reading the word of Yah. Deuteronomy 30. Now we get into his false narrative point. Restoration promise. 1, it shall happen when all these things have come on you, the blessing and the curses, which I have set before you, and you shall call them to mind among all the nations. This is where we at right now, y'all. Where Yahweh your Elohim has driven you, and shall return to Yahweh your Elohim, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command you this day, you and your children, with all your heart and with all your soul. 30, for this commandment which I command you this day, it is not too hard for you, neither is it too far. We didn't have to go to Tibet to get it, y'all. It is not in heaven, that you should say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it to us and make us to hear it, that we may do it. Neither is it beyond the sea. It's not beyond the sea in the Himalayas, y'all. It's not in Vatican anymore. We got it right here. This is us and the other nations. Now, that's not there. This is right now. When you are scattered in the nations, it's right here. We don't have to go over there and over there to get it, to make us to hear it, that we may do it. Neither is it beyond the sea, that you should say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it to us and make us to hear it, that we may do it. But the words is very near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. Oh, the very words that he spoke right there, that he wrote the book, he put on 2 tablets, but put them on the side of the covenant. All right.
Voodooism and all these isms. Well, what we gonna say when we pull these things about the description? What y'all gonna say when y'all find out that Christ was in Tibet, that Christ was in India, that Christ was in Kemet, Christ was in Egypt? Learning and studying with the priests of all of these different municipalities and of all these. What was he doing? What was he doing? We got records. We gonna read all this stuff. So y'all tell me, what was he doing? And then once he came back from all these things, his healing ministry went forth. The moment he became a master teacher, his healing ministry went forth. We start seeing him raising the dead. We start seeing him healing the blind. We start seeing him healing a woman that was on her ministry cycle for years and years at a time. We started seeing major healing going forth from his moment that he gathered all of this information and mastered. And that's the reason why we call him master teacher, or call him Messiah, or call him the anointed, or the smeared with oil one. We're gonna get into all these different words and definitions. This information will blow your mind.
Look, family, y'all have to free yourselves from religion. Religion is keeping y'all sick. Religion is keeping y'all sick. Religion is keeping y'all minds limited. Religion got y'all acting like y'all ancestors that was picking cotton in cotton fields. Straight up, there is no coincidence that every meal when this vital information come out, all of a sudden we get demonized, or get called demonic, or get called teaching Eastern philosophy, or get called all
These things. Why don't these teachers want y'all to know these secrets, these mysteries that's supposed to be revealed unto you in the very book that we all read?
Right. I'm still making my point. I just want to destroy his narrative first. Then I'm coming back to make my point. Deuteronomy 30. Choose life and choose death. There's a commandment. There's a commandment in here that's against you for death. And there's commandments in here that's against you for life. There is, y'all. Which ones are they? Yah has declared which ones they are. 15. Behold, I have set before you this day. What? Life and good, and death and evil. What? What's he talking about? The ones we just read. In that I commanded you this day to love Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in his ways and keep his commandments and his statutes and his ordinances, that you may live and multiply, and that Yahweh your Elohim may bless you in the land when you go to possess it. He attached curses and blessings, life and good, and death and evil to the commandments. But if your heart turns away and you will not hear, but you shall draw away and worship other Elohim and serve them. That's what it's all about. I denounce you this day that you shall surely perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land where you pass over the Jordan to go in to possess. I call heaven and earth. Watch, I'm going to show you the next witness. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. What is it that he said? We just read it, y'all. Don't let this Negro just yap to y'all like that. To love Yahweh your Elohim, to obey his voice, to cling to him, for he is your life and the length of your days, that you may dwell in the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, to give them. Let's see. We in 31 now. That's where he was picking from, right? The reading of the law. 9. Moses wrote this law. Cursed is the man. Cursed is the man. Cursed is the man. Blessed is the man. Blessed is the man. Blessed is the man. Moses wrote this law. He wrote it in the book, but it was already inscribed on the stones when he made a new covenant and they made a sacrifice. Every covenant that is ever made, there must be a sacrifice, because the reason for renewing a covenant is because we broke something. Therefore, there has to be an atonement to cover, to bring us back underneath the ratification of a new covenant. And delivered it to the priests and the sons of Levi, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, and to all the elders of Israel. 10. Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the set time of the year release, in the feast of tents, when all Israel is come to appear before Yahweh your Elohim in the place which he shall choose, you shall read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Assemble the people of men and women and the little ones and your foreigners who is within your gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and fear Yahweh your Elohim and observe to do all the words of this law. That's why he wrote it in the book, and that's why it's on the outside of the covenant. Stupid. Gonna make that like that's some kind of a negative thing, that he wrote it in the book and put it on the side of the covenant. That's right. And their children who have not known may hear. That's why. And learn to fear Yahweh your Elohim as long as you live in the land where you go over to the Jordan to possess it. Well, she's still yapping. All right, Deuteronomy 31 and 14. Elohim charges Joshua. Yahweh said to Moshe, behold, your days approach that you must die. Call Joshua and present yourselves in the tent of meeting, that I may commission him. Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tent of meeting. Yahweh appeared in the tent in a pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of a cloud stood over the door of the tent. 16. Yahweh said to Moshe, behold, you shall sleep with your fathers, and this people will rise up and play the prostitute after the strange Elohim of the land. Where you go to be among them, I will forsake me and break my covenant, which I have made with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them. And I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall come on them, so that they will say in that day, haven't these evils come on us, because our Elohim is not among us? I will surely hide my face in the day for all the evil which they shall have worked, and that they have turned to other Elohim. All right, we getting to it, y'all. 31 and 19. Now, the reading of the law. Now, therefore, write this song for yourselves and teach it to the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. What's the song, y'all? We didn't even get to it yet. Who's the only ones that's going to really know this song? The Song of Moses. And I saw 144,000 with the Song of Moses and the Song of the Lamb. There's two things that we're going to have to understand about this song. And only the 144,000, because when they understand the law and the witness against us and the curses and the blessings, it's going to make us fear. And we're going to return to Yah and keep his covenant. Because of this song, y'all. This song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. For when I shall have brought them up into the land which I swore to their fathers, flowing with milk and honey, and they have eaten and filled themselves and grown fat, then will they turn to other Elohim and serve them and despise me and break my covenant. It shall happen when many evils and troubles are come on them, that this song shall testify before them as a witness. For it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination which they framed this day, before I have brought them into the land which I swore. So Moses wrote this song the same day and taught it to the children of Israel. He commissioned Joshua the son of Nun and said, be strong and courageous, for you shall bring the children of Israel into the land which I swore to them, and I will be with you. Now, 24, it happened when Moses made an end of writing the words of the law in a book, the curses and the blessings and the song as a witness against us for rebellion. Let's read it again. Until they were finished, that Moses how do we have the song today? It's in the book, y'all. The book that he wants to rip up. I'm gonna save some of this, right? Because we can't eat all the vegetables in one day. We're gonna be hungry tomorrow. So we're gonna leave this for the next lesson. See what we're gonna tear up and throw out. It happened when Moses had made an end of the writing of the words of this law in the book until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, saying, take this law of the book and put it by the side of the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, that it may be there for a witness against you. He ended it with the song, and the covenant was the curses and the blessings. For I know your rebellion and your stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive, with you this day, you have been rebellious against Yahweh, and how much more after my death. All right. The Song of Moses. I'm not even going to read it today because that's another lesson, because that's a mystery just for the 144. They like, dang, I'll do it. Y'all are full and I haven't even finished serving him. Wait, there's more food on the table. The Song of Moses. Give ear, O you heavens, and I will speak. I call heaven and earth against you. Let the earth hear my words of my mouth. What's heaven and what's earth? It's going to witness against us. He's going to make us mad, dumb, blind, stupid, sick, diseased, crazy, demonic, possessed, and the curses will pursue us all the days of our life. Give ear, O you heavens. Let the words enter into your ears and go down to your heart, O ye earth. The words of my mouth. I'm going to stop right there. That's another lesson. Now we in 44. Moses came and spoke all these words of this song in the ears of the people. He and Joshua, the son of Nun. Moses made an end of speaking all these words of Israel. He said to them, set your heart on all the words which I testify to you this day, which you shall command your children to observe to do, even all the words of this law. For it is not a vain thing for you. Oh, what Yaki said, it is. He said it was a vain thing. Y'all just threw it on. He like the side. Well, when the priest, if anybody touched the side of the altar, what's going to happen to him? Why? because it's most holy. So this law of the book that is written as a witness against you with the curses and the blessings that and the song of Moses is on the side of the ark, and he counted that a vain thing. Blasphemy. Blasphemy. For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life. And through this thing you shall prolong your days in the land where you go over Jordan to possess it. All right. Now, listen here, listen here. He gonna get another whipping right now. I said something. I said if I prove to old Yaki inside of Malaki, idol worship, sodomite, idolatrous, covetousness, lying, stealing, high bastards. If I prove that it was not just the 10 Commandments inside the Ark of the Covenant on the stones, what he gonna do? Say my name, Malaki. Say my name. You were right, Talia. But it's gonna be too late for you because you were already offered an opportunity. I'm gonna continue to embarrass you, Malaki, on top of Yaki. Yaki inside Malaki. Malaki giving his back to Yaki. I'm gonna continue to smut and tear you apart. I'm gonna hammer y'all like you've never been hammered. I'm gonna give you what you've been given. Just wait for it, Israel, just wait. What was it? Only the 10 Commandments written by Yahweh, carved out by Moses, that was put inside the Ark of the Covenant. That is the covenant. Well, Malaki said, yes. But I said, lie. No, it isn't. Let's see. All right, y'all ready? This is the knockout right here. Knock him out. Knock him out. He can't even stand on 2 legs anymore. He's got to ride Yaki's back from this point. Knock him out. You are knocked out, Malaki. Don't stand up. Sit your behind down. And that's the end of it. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Now, 9. There was nothing in the ark except the 2 tables of stone, which Moses put there in Horeb when Yah made a covenant. Did we ever read anything where Yah said, I only wrote the 10? No. That's a presumption. That's a presumption, y'all. Watch this. With the children of Israel, when they came out of the land of Egypt, it came to pass when the priests would come out of the holy place that the cloud filled the house of Yahweh, so that the priest, where we at? We in Kings, right? That's what he pulled, right? That's what he pulled, right? 1 Kings 8, 9, right? Let's read this. There was nothing in the ark except the 2 tables of stone, which Moses put there in Horeb, when Yahweh made a covenant with the children of Israel, when they came out of the land of Egypt. It came to pass when the priests were come out of the holy place that the cloud filled the house of Yahweh, so that the priests could not stand to minister by reason of the cloud, for the glory of Yahweh filled the whole house. So we're in agreement, Yaki, inside of Malaki. There was nothing in the ark but the 2 tables of stone which Moses put there. But you told the people there was nothing but 10 commandments, and we haven't read that yet. All right. Let's see. Hold on. Deuteronomy 10. We're going backwards, right? The new tables of stone, right? The first ones was destroyed. Moses was commissioned to go get a second set. Watch this. The new tables of stone. 1. Don't worry, I got 2 witnesses to what I'm saying. At that time, Yahweh said to me, to Moses, cut 2 tables of stone like the first. Did y'all ever know what was on the first? Nope. The only thing that Yah said that the 10 commandments was on it. And when he spoke, he added no more, right? And come up to me on the mountain and make an ark of wood. Now, Moshe wouldn't know what was all on those commandments, right? The children of Israel wouldn't know unless Moshe gave it to them again. I will write on the tablets, Yah saying this. I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke. You shall put them in the ark. We're in agreement. That was put in the ark. It was the covenant, 2 tables of stone. So I made an ark of acacia wood and cut 2 tables of stone like the first and went up on the mountain having the 2 tables in my hand. He wrote on the tables. That was Yah. But I'm going to show you that it wasn't just Yah alone. I said it was a lie, that this one wasn't written the way Yah wrote it the first time. It's not declaring that. It's not saying that for a reason. I'm going to show you why. He wrote on the tables, according to the first writing, the 10 commandments, which Yahweh spoke to you on the mountain out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And Yahweh gave them to me. I turned and came down from the mountain and put the tablets in the ark, which I had made. And there they are as Yahweh commanded me. Off surface, if you read that, what would you think? That there's only 10 commandments that Yah wrote, right? It doesn't say that. It says he cut out 2 and Yah wrote on them the same words that was on the first, the 10. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. So we know Moses' hands was on this. It was Yah's hands and Moses' hands on this. And he said whatever it was the same as the first ones that they never saw because Moses broke. All right. Hold on. All right, let's go. Exodus 20. Let's see the story now. The 10 commandments, Deuteronomy 5:5-21 is reading the 10 commandments. It's the same account as Exodus 20. With Exodus 20, Moses comforts the people. 18. And all the people perceived the thunder and the lightning and the sound of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they trembled and stayed at a distance. They said to Moses, speak with us yourself and we will listen, but don't let Elohim speak with us, lest we die. Moses said to the people, don't be afraid, for Elohim has come to test you, that his fear may be for you. Don't be afraid of the fire. Be afraid of me, that his fear may be before your faces, before you, that you won't sin. The people stayed at a distance, and Moses drew near to the thick darkness where Elohim was, because they said, no, we don't want to hear the voice of Yah. We're going to die. All right. Come on. All right. So we stopped Yah at 10, right? Yeah. There was obviously going to be something more that Yah had to say, right? Okay. Exodus, where we at? I can't even see it. Exodus 19, let's go back. Let's get the story clear again. 10, Yahweh said to Moshe, go to the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow and let them wash their garments and be ready against the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day, Yah will come down in the sight of all the people on the mountain. That made them holy before Yah. That is what was required of the priests. They had to be celibate. They had to be purified and clean from women, right? Just like David and his army. Yeah, they ate meat, but they didn't. Okay. And be ready against the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day, Yahweh will come down in the sight of all the people on Mount Sinai. You shall set bounds to the people all around, saying, be careful that you don't go up on the mountain or touch its borders. Whosoever touches the mountain shall be surely put to death. No hand shall touch them, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it is of animal or man, he shall not live, because Yah had to purify us with a sacrifice, y'all. We still had sin on us. Though we heard it, right? We stopped him. Therefore, we didn't get the purification. And a sacrifice was also needed to cover the sin that now we're bearing because we heard it, right? When the trumpet sounds long, they shall come up on the mountain. We were supposed to go up when the trumpet sound long, but we stopped them at 10. What do we go up on mountains for, y'all? To serve Yah. All right. And worship Yah. Moses, why was the animals going to go up, Yah? Guess what? We will have a feast on the mountain. Moses went down from the mountain to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. He said to the people, be ready on the third day. Don't have sexual relationships with your woman. All right. There's nothing holy about that, y'all. Okay. That's just a little pleasure he gave you in the flesh, in marriage, according to the word of Yah. Exodus, where am I at? 19, 16. And it happened on the third day when it was morning, that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain and the sound of an exceedingly great loud trumpet. And all the people who were in the camp trembled. Moses led the people out of the camp to meet Elohim, and they stood at the lower part of the mountain. Yah visits Sinai, 18, Mount Sinai. It smoked, because Yahweh descended on it in fire, and it smoke ascended like the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain quaked greatly. When the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, the people were supposed to go up. Moses spoke, and Elohim answered him by a voice. Why did Moses speak? Because we stopped Yah and said, no, Moses, you go talk to him. Yahweh came down on the mount to the top of the mountain. Yahweh called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up instead. We were supposed to go, y'all. Hold on. We also were supposed to go up to the mountain in the fire. Okay. Get to the point, Talia. We're going back. Now we can, he said, read line upon line upon line upon line. Precept upon precept upon precept upon precept. Then you could go back and do the here a little and there a little. But anybody that's going to ping pong y'all here and a little there and then rip the rest of it out is a deceiving wizard. The covenant in Horeb. 1, Moses called all Israel and said unto them, hear Israel, the statutes and the judgments which I speak in your ears this day. So there was statutes and judgments that you may learn them and observe to do them. Yahweh your Elohim made a covenant with us in Horeb. Yahweh didn't make this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us, who are all of us here alive today. Yahweh spoke with you face to face on the mountain out of the midst of the fire. I stood between Yahweh and you at that time to show you the word of Yahweh. For you were afraid because of the fire and didn't go up in the mountain. Say, here we are, 22. I'm showing you both accounts. Where we at? This Deuteronomy what? 5? 22. These words Yahweh spoke to all your assembly on the mountain out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, of the thick darkness with a great voice, and he added no more. That's when he spoke. He wrote them on 2 tables of stone. Yah wrote the 10 commandments on the 2 and gave them to me. It happened when you heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness while the mountain was burning with fire, that you came near to me, even all the heads. Remember, he went up again and said, call the elders, all the heads of your tribes and your leaders. And you said, behold, Yahweh your Elohim has shown us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that Elohim does speak with man, he lives. Now, therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us if we hear the voice of Yahweh our Elohim anymore, then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh that have heard the voice of the living Elohim speaking out of the midst of the fire as we have lived and have lived? Go near and hear all that Yahweh our Elohim shall say, and tell us all that Yahweh our Elohim shall tell you, and we will hear and do it. All right, I know. It seems like, come on, Talia, get to the point. I know. Hold on. 2 tables of stone, right? That's what they show you, right? Thou shalt not. Only 5 on this side and 5 on that side, right? That Yah wrote the 10, right? He wrote the 10 on the tablets. All right. Y'all sure? Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
All right. All right. Exodus 32, right? That's where I'm at. Let me see. This thing is in the way. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No. Exodus 32. Moses descends with the tablets. 15. Moses turned and went down from the mountain with 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand. Tablets that were written on both their sides.
Yeah.
One on the one side and on the other, they were written. So one might say, he's talking about someone's 5 was written on this one. No. Right? Watch. I got a testimony. Let the Bible interpret the Bible. I know what the Hebrew says. It says on both their sides.
Yeah.
Both their sides.
Yeah.
On both their sides. You don't believe me? Let's read the Hebrew. Veyipain Ve'yipen Yered Moshe, and turned to go down Moshe min hahar, from the mountain, where shnei lechut, 2 tablets, ha'edot, of the testimony, beyado, in his hand, lechut ketuvim, right? The tablets that were written, meshnei avrehem, right? Evrehem. It means, so that comes, words come from avar. It means past or beyond. It doesn't mean on the, like one, it doesn't mean one and the other. Avrehem, right? It's not Abraham. Avar means past, over, beyond them. Behind, is on the other side of them. Something was written on the back of those stones, y'all. All right. Evrehem Mezeh. The Mezeh Hem Ketuvim. There was something written on the back. Yes, Yah wrote the 10, but Moses wrote something else on the back. And whatever that was is what they did not hear, is what they stopped Yah from telling them that was going to make them worthy to go up and give a sacrifice, y'all. Now, they did the Passover. He taught of the Shabbat. It was Shavuot. Now Shavuot is past. All right. 16. The tables were the work. You think I'm making this up? Let's keep reading. The tables were the work of Elohim, and the writing was the writing of Elohim, engraved on the table. When Joshua heard the noise of the people and they shouted, he said to Moses, there is the noise of war in the camp. 18. He said, it isn't the voice of those who shout for victory, neither is it the voice of those who cry for being overcome, but the noise of those who sing that I hear. Moses breaks the tablet. I'm going back. 19. And it happened as soon as he came near to the camp that he saw the calf and the dancing of and the dancing. They partying, y'all. They reveling. And Moses' anger grew hot, and he threw the tables out of his hand and broke them beneath the mountain. He took the calf which he had made and burned it with fire, ground it up in powder, scattered it in the water, and made the children of Israel drink. The law of a jealous husband. All right, let's see. So we see, no, that means the two sides. She can play with the Hebrew. He said, y'all only wrote 10. All right. There was something on the back, y'all. That's why he's not claiming it the way he wrote it the first time. Deuteronomy, where we at now? Come on, mouse. I know. Deuteronomy 9. The golden calf. We're going back. 15. So I turned and came down from the mountain, and the mountain was burning with fire. And the 2 tables of the covenant were in my 2 hands. And I looked, and behold, you had sinned against Yahweh your Elohim. You had made yourself a molten calf. You had turned aside quickly out of the way which Yahweh had commanded you. I took hold of the 2 tablets and cast them out of my 2 hands and broke them before your eyes. I fell down before Yahweh as at the first, 40 days and 40 nights. I didn't either drink nor bread nor drink water. That's a true fast. Because of all your sin which you sinned, and doing that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh to provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and the hot displeasure with which Yahweh was angry against you to destroy you. But Yahweh listened to me at the time also. Yahweh was very angry with Aaron and to destroy him. I prayed for Aaron also at the same time. I took your sin, the calf which you had made, and burnt with fire, and stamped it, grinded it very small until it was as fine as dust. And I cast it dust into the brook that descends into the mountain. I'm showing you both testimonies. Hold on. I'm showing you both. All right. Now we in what? Exodus what? Moving forward, right? Exodus 34. The tablets are replaced. And that's the same one in Deuteronomy 10. Yahweh said to Moses, chisel 2 tablets of stone like the first, and I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke. Be ready by the morning and come up in the morning to Mount Sinai to present yourself there to me on the top of the mountain. No one shall come up with you, neither let anyone be seen throughout all your mountain, neither let the flocks nor the herds feed before the mountain. He chiseled 2 tables of stone like the first, and Moses rose up early in the morning and went up to the mountain of Sinai as Yahweh had commanded him, and took in his hand 2 stones of table. Come on, where is it? But I just showed you. There was something on the other side. Hold on. Yahweh descended in the cloud and stood with him. There he proclaimed the name of Yahweh. Yahweh passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahweh, Yahweh, a merciful and gracious Elohim, slow to anger, and abundant in loving kindness and truth, keeping love and kindness for thousands, forgiving iniquity and disobedience and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquities of the fathers on the children of the children's children on the third and the fourth generation. Moses turned, hurried, and bowed his head toward the earth in worship. He said, if now I have found favor in your sight, Yahweh, please let me go into the midst of Yahweh, go in the midst of us. Although this is a stiff-necked people, pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for your inheritance. Hold on. All right, hold on. Talia, come on now, get to the point. Exodus 34:10. Yahweh renews the covenant. He said, behold, I make a covenant before all your people. I will do marvels such as has not been worked in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among which you are shall see the work of Yahweh, for it is an awesome thing that I do with you. 11. Observe that which I command you this day. Behold, I drive out before you the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, the Jebusite. Be careful lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land where you are going, lest it be for a snare in the midst of you. But you shall break down their altars, dash in pieces their pillars, and you shall cut down their asherim. For you shall worship no other Elohim. For Yahweh, whose name is jealous Elohim. Don't make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, lest they play the prostitute after their Elohim and sacrifice to their Elohim, and one call you and eat of his sacrifice. You shall take of their take of their daughters to your sons, and their daughters to play the prostitute after their Elohim, and make your sons play the prostitute after their Elohim. You shall make no cast idols for yourself. Come on, what's next? All right, Exodus 34:18. You shall keep the feast of unleavened bread. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you at this time appointed in the month of Abib. For in the month of Abib you came up out of Egypt. If they kept the Passover, what did they have to do? Eat meat. Who said that they didn't eat meat at all? They ate meat on Passover when they had to keep it. This is the second year. All that opens the wound is mine, and all your livestock that is male, the firstborn cow and sheep, the firstborn of the donkey, you shall redeem with the lamb. And if you will not redeem it, then you shall break its neck. All the firstborn of your sons you shall redeem. No one shall appear before me empty. He's trying to renew the covenant of Shavuot with them and the sacrifices. Hold on. Y'all ready for it? Come on, Talia, man. Come on, right? Come on, don't do this, man. Y'all ready for it? We're gonna have some special. Y'all ready to get hammered? Malaki. All right, drop it like it's hot. Exodus 34:21. 6 days you shall work, but on the seventh day you shall rest. In plowing time and in harvest you shall rest. You shall observe the feast of weeks, and with the feast of fruits of weeks of harvest, and the feast of harvest at the end. So he's given us now all the holy days. They all require sacrifices. We got to do it all over again, right? We got to finish it, right? At the end of the year, 3 times in a year, all your males shall appear before Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel. For I will drive out the nations before you and enlarge your borders. Neither shall any man desire your land when you go up to appear before Yahweh, your Elohim, 3 times in a year. 25. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread. Neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of Passover be left to the morning. You shall bring the first of your fruits of your ground to the house of Yahweh, your Elohim. You shall not boil your goat in its mother's milk. It was a principle that the Canaanites did. We do milk, we do meat, but we don't boil a baby goat in its own mother's milk. There's a principle of don't take life with life. Yahweh said to Moses, write these words, for in accordance with these words, I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. Oh, snap. Where did he write them? Because we don't see a book until 40 years later. Wait a minute. Hold on. He was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. He neither ate bread nor drank water. He wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. Who wrote them? Moshe. Okay, what was on the back? Why does it say that Yah wrote it? Because it's Yah's words, right? The radiant face of Moses. It happened when Moses came down from the mountain Sinai with the 2 tables of the testimony in Moses' hand. Where was these other commandments that he just read about the feast days? On the back, y'all. On the back. That's right. It's on the back. That's right. It happened when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables on the testimony in tables of the testimony in Moses' hand. That's all he had, y'all. Where was these commandments written? Right? And he came down from the mountain that Moses didn't know that the skin of his face shone by reason of him speaking with him. All right. Exodus 34. So let's go back. Let's read. And Yahweh said to Moses, write these words, for in accordance with the words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. Where did he write them? On the back of the stones. All right. Come on. Who want to read it? Come on, Shmira. Come on, Hebrew. Come on. Can you read that for me? My eyes is tired. El Moshe. Come forward. Let them hear you. We do Hebrew up in here. That's right. Hold on. We're going to read this. We'll read it together. Her accent might be a little better than mine. She's going to help my eyes move. She's looking at the screen. I'm looking at this little screen. Wayomer Yahweh El Moshe Kitav Lecha Et Haduvarim. Wait. These things, these words, right? Come on. Ha'ele. Where we were. I'll pay. Ele. Krati. Et Israel. So this is actually how it reads, right? It reads, and said Yahweh to Moshe, write to you. Where did he write? Et aduvarim, the things of these. By mouth. These things of these I cut out with you. Why is he saying by mouth? Because he had to now speak them again to Moses and they didn't hear it, right? Itcha, with you, with the covenant and with Israel. So he wrote them and he spoke them, right? He was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. He neither ate bread nor drank water. He wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments, right? Come on, read the second verse. And he was there when Arba'in Yom Laila.
לחם לא אוכל ומים לא שתה,
וכתב
על חלוקת את
ברית
הברית
עשרת
עשרת
הדברים. So he wrote the words that he just spoke about the feast days and the sacrifices on the back, and then it was written on the front, the 10. Can you see me, Israel? If you see what Yah is saying, say hallelujah. All right now. Oh, he want to talk about the commandments. All right. Bam. All right. Let's see. Let's find out. I proved the point. I showed you that there was something else on the back. And the reason why Yah didn't say I wrote it with his finger, because Moshe actually was the one that wrote it. Yah spoke it, he wrote it. But Yah wrote it through Moses. The light was on him. The light was on him. Right? And Yah had always used the hand of Moses as the right hand. All right. Joshua renews the covenant. Here's another testimony. Then Joshua built an altar to Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, in Mount Ebal. And Moses, the servant of Yahweh, commanded the children of Israel, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of uncut stones on which no man has lifted up any iron. They offered burnt offerings to Yahweh, Ooooohweee, and sacrificed peace offerings, Ooooohweee. Oh, wait, that's Joshua? Wait a minute. We got to throw that out. Joshua, get out of here. All right. They offer up burnt offerings on it to Yahweh and sacrifice peace offerings. He wrote there on the stones a second copy. Ooooohweee. Meshane. he doubled whatever y'all wrote in the covenant on the 2 tables of stone on the front and the back. He wrote a second copy, y'all, of the law of Moses, which he wrote in the presence of the children of Israel. All Israel and their elders and officers and their judges stood on the side of the Ark of the Covenant, on the side before the priests and the Levites, who carried the Ark of Yahweh's covenant, the foreigner as well as the native, half of them in front of the Mount Gerizim, and the half of them in front of Ebal. And Moses, the servants of Yahweh, had commanded the first that they should bless the people with Israel. Afterward, he read all the words of the law, the blessings and the curses, according to all that is written in the book of the law. So whatever was written on those tablets, front and back, the sacrifices, the feast days, and the 10. What are the fast sacrifices? That is the first commandment. That's how you worship Yahweh, your Elohim, right? To be a living sacrifice now, though, right? But that's also thou shalt not commit adultery. That's also the key to not covet, because you want quick blessings when you worship idols, right? That is also thou shalt not steal, because you stealing a blessing that y'all didn't give you, right? Thou shalt not what? Commit what? That is murder, because they was killing their children. I'm gonna show you when y'all said y'all was killing y'all children in the wilderness, just like y'all was murdering man. That's idol worship, and that's also the Shabbats. So those commandments was explaining Yah's laws. All right. Afterward, he read all the words of the law, the blessing of the curse, according to all that is written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moses commanded, which Joshua didn't read before all the assembly of Israel, with the women, the little children, the little ones, the foreigners who were among them. Hallelujah. All right, Israel. This is going to be the end of part 1 of smashing the hammer. Yaki inside of Malaki. Did I not prove him to be a lie just now? Did I just yap away my own words, or did I read it from the book that he's trying to destroy? There's a reason why he's trying to destroy this book, because if you read too much, you're going to find out that he's lying to you, Israel. You're going to find out that he's lying to you. It's a witness against him. All right. So now y'all stay tuned, because I'm not finished destroying him. For thy word is like a hammer that breaks the pot in pieces, and thy word is like fire. And the witnesses is coming to do what? Speak fire, y'all. And it's going to burn his heart. It's going to burn his heart when he hear that he's a liar and he don't know what he's talking about, and that he spoke evil of me wrongly. And he spoke lies on me and the word of Yah wrongfully. Part 2, the 5 sacrifices and offering. Until then, Israel, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the day with my family here. We're going to feast on some yayin. We're going to feast on some fruits and vegetables and bread and cheese and meat. And what else we got here? We got lots of stuff here, y'all. We can't eat. Yes, many blessings in the wilderness, right? I'm going to end with this. Hebrew 10:1. The law is a shadow. What law are we talking about? The sacrifices. The law is a shadow of the good things that are coming, not the realities or the form themselves, right? The sacrifices wasn't the reality of what was the good thing about it. For this reason, it could never, by the same sacrifices, understand the point, because when we go into the prophets, first we got to understand the offerings, right? So that's going to be next week, because there's a deep lesson in this to give a true testimony of Messiah, not just speak it. Oh, I believe in Messiah. Thank you for him giving a good sacrifice for us. But anyway, here's the herbs and the trees and the book of the Nazarenes, right? Listen to what he's saying, because this is what you got to understand. There's something y'all missing. Not that a sacrifice couldn't remove a sin, but the same sacrifices repeated continuously, endlessly, year after year, make perfect those who draw near to worship. I want y'all to sink y'all minds on that. Next week is going to be part 2, the 5 sacrifices and offerings. I'm still here to destroy Yaki inside of Malaki, the 2 sodomites and Gomorrah, smoking weed and puffing herbs, drinking, or whatever you want to call it. They over here cleansing each other's behind, and they're going to get it. Now, I said your name all kinds of ways, and you don't have the balls to speak mine. You sit your behind down, because you're not on my level. Be ready for another whipping, Malaki, like you never had it before. You can sit up here and debate this foolishness with these Negroes and these set-up kangaroo courts of yours, answering questions, don't answer no questions, switching all around, got busted with lies, and you still want to address it. Sit your behind down. Thus says Yah. All right, Israel, shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. And to the next lesson, I'll see you again. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Amen. Yah is good. Shalom, shalom.